Okay, welcome everybody to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. We do these live streams to make sure that the people who are engaged have the information they need to pay less for cars than other people are paying. Cars is one of the only kind of industries where people go out and they try to do this alone, and they have people that are literally against them. The car business is not people that are your friends, and I'm saying that as somebody who was in the car business for 14 years. So, I mean, you cannot have somebody who represents your interests as a fiduciary who has a vested interest in you paying more. The more you pay, the more they make. So it's not, it just can never exist. So it's buyer beware. And what we do here is teach cutting edge stuff that no one's doing except the people who learn from us. We are not spending more than 20 minutes in car dealerships. We are using our leverage, which is at home. You have no leverage in a car dealership. You can't shop the market. You cannot feel for the bottom. You don't know what the bottom is because you don't know what the dealership paid for the car. These are all things that are systemically set up for you to pay more and for you to think you did okay, which is what most people do. You leave the dealership, you hope you did okay. You don't want to really talk about your deal. Don't really want to talk about the numbers. Not that confident in the numbers. This is the only industry that runs like this. And my mission is to make sure that everyone who wants to make sure who doesn't want to be in that group of people, buyer's remorse people, anxiety people, come to Cars from Home. We don't have those issues here at all. For the last 2 years, I've taught hundreds of people personally. Actually, I've worked with over 2,000 people personally, and thousands that I don't even know about that have commented on my pages that they've used my stuff, used the stuff we teach, use the stuff we're going to be going over in this stream to pay less than everyone else, save thousands without ever spending more than 30 minutes in a car dealership and without being a good negotiator. So now that we got the housekeeping out the way, I want to let you know that we'll be talking about a couple things on here today besides Q&A. We have three ways for you to get the information you need. Obviously, one of them, it's more than that. It's just free on my pages. I make dozens of videos. I put out hundreds of videos a year about car shopping. That's all free. We do these streams. That's all free. But for those of you who want to take it to the next level, we have three programs. We have a do-it-yourself. That's my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home: 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. That's the do-it-yourself blueprint to getting below-market leases, purchases, and new cars or used cars from home. That book's already 5-star rated. You can get your copy for 75% off as part of our welcome offer in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the Facebook, or the YouTube comments. Then we have the Done With You. That's where we take you into an immersive experience where you're working directly with me. And instead of reading, you're watching videos that I put together that I coach you step by step through the process. And of course, we have a private Facebook group and we have coaching calls that we do twice a month. That's also in those links that you will click. Special offer there. And what we have coming, if you don't see it there when you click the link, we have our Done For You program that we have worked for 3 years to develop. In fact, I used to do it before I came to online, but we had to figure out how we were going to do it at scale. Obviously, that's a limited offer because we can't shop for thousands of people at once. So if you go there and you don't see the link, that means the program is not open yet, or that means the program is full for now. But those three programs, get in where you fit in. It doesn't matter. I don't care how you guys pay less. I don't care what you use, whether it's free, do it yourself, done with you, done for you. I just want to make sure you pay less than everyone else. So that's all here. The housekeeping's done. Now let's get to the good stuff. Well, I'm sorry, that was the good stuff. What am I talking about? Let's get to the questions. Okay. Dolan, if we have the first question, I know someone asked about leasing versus buying. Feel free to ask any question you guys want. No question is off limits. I will try to the best of my ability to answer every question that we get. Go ahead, Dolan. Pull that first one up, please. Let me turn this music on. Dolan, you there? Okay, somebody asked the question. Lease or buy? Lease or buy? This has everything to do with how long you're keeping the car. Every time, this step one in our process, before we do anything else, because some of you are like, Deshone, what should I focus on first? Always how long we're going to keep the car, which is how are we going to beat depreciation? This is what I call when the first thing I want you to think about when you're getting a car, when you're thinking about getting a car, is this. Deshone, what is that? This represents depreciation. This is what I call the unseen expense. That's what we refer to it as here in the Cars from Home world. The unseen expense. Why is this the unseen expense? Well, if you buy a car today for $40,000, you bring it back to the dealership the next day, what is it worth? Throw some numbers out there. You buy a car today for $40,000, you bring it back to the dealership the next day, what is it worth? Let's go. Where my locked in people at? Thank you. 30K. Okay, Sonya said 30K. Somebody said 34. It's worth less. It's worth less. In a 24-hour period, they say you're going to lose 15% minimum of the value of the car. And that depends on how much you overpaid for it. So if the market value was, a $15,000 discount that you could have got, but you didn't get a $15,000 discount, you paid list price, or you only got a $2,000 discount, then when you come back to replace that car, even 24 hours later, that car is worth $20,000 less. And this is scary, because the reason why we ask that question is because we have people who have saved $20,000 off of brand new vehicles. Kimberly, Sean, some of you know Milligan, she saved $27,000 off her electric Mercedes. Why is that so critical? Because when you save that kind of money off of a new vehicle, then that means that whoever the dealers know this vehicle is what we call soft. When we have a vehicle, and again, remember, you're talking to somebody who worked for car dealers. I want you to get these expressions. When we have a vehicle that's called soft, it's a soft vehicle. That means the market's soft. That means in order to sell them, you need lots of rebates. You need lots of manufacturer incentives, 0% financing, $5,000 rebates, $15,000 rebates. It's a soft car, soft market. That means when you go buy a used one in 3 years, you shouldn't be looking to save 20%, 30%. You should be looking to save 50%. So the softer the market on a new car, the more depreciation that it's taking. That's what that means. It's depreciating fast. The market doesn't really want the car unless it's heavily incentivized. So when you buy these vehicles, this is what it looks like. I bought it for 40. In 5 years, it's going to be worth 15. It's going to be worth 20. This is a depreciating asset. Now, what we're trying to do when we're deciding whether to lease or buy, it's simple. How am I going to beat depreciation? That's the only thing we're focused on. Leasing versus buying is nothing to do with how much you drive. It's all about how we're going to beat depreciation. That's it. Now, if you want to take on depreciation, you buy. That means whatever that vehicle is worth, whatever happens to it, it's on you. If you were going to sell the vehicle tomorrow for $20,000 and you turn around and have an accident today, you're not getting $20,000 tomorrow, right? Right? You just lost money by having an accident. Why? Because you're invested in the vehicle. You're invested in the asset. In the short term, no way to win. There's no way to win investing in cars in the short term. We had a once-in-a-lifetime event during the pandemic where people were buying cars and flipping them in 2 years, getting all their money back. Who cashed out? If you cashed out during that period of time, type $. Because what I was telling you guys all during 2021, 2022, early 2023 is cash out if you have a vehicle, because you're never going to see vehicles that are worth $7,000 to $15,000 more than they should have been worth. So those were the opportunities for people to get out of negative equity, for people to get, if they wanted to transition from a purchase to a lease, to do it, and to make money selling their cars. I sold my lease, which was a Jeep Grand Cherokee. I paid $330 a month for 39 months. I sold it after 39. I actually extended the lease a little bit. Then I sold it and made over $9,000 when I sold it to CarMax. And I documented that too. I made a video about it. I helped my mother sell her lease. So leasing versus buying is all, and she made more than me because she was a low mileage driver. She made $10,200. And look, for those of you who are new here, you might be like, Deshone, there's no way. Listen, that ain't just me. Go to my most popular videos on my TikToks and everything. You'll see people commenting, yo, I cashed out. I made $15,000 because of you. I made $8,000 selling my lease because of you. I didn't even know I could sell my lease and I made $14,000. I made $8,000. I made $5,000. This was thousands of people. So what we do here is documented, but it's not for emotion. All we want you to understand is cars should not be emotional. You should be looking at the numbers and saying to yourself, all right, if I get a lease, let's take this lease like right here. Ansley has a $58,000 vehicle that he leased, 2024 QX60 Infiniti. He's paying $554 a month with no money down. That's a $60,000 vehicle that he's paying $554 a month for. There's no purchase that you could do that would be anywhere close to this. I don't care how you slice it. If Ansley walks into an Infiniti dealership to pick up his vehicle that he bought online using the Cars from Home system, he walks in, he's driving off in his new Infiniti, paying $554 a month, and the person right next to him drives off in the exact same Infiniti, but they're paying $1,100 a month. There's no way that you can justify. You can't. How do you say, well, the person who purchased it did a little better? In what way? In what way? We're driving the exact same vehicles. I am driving, and look, this was my life. My life when I worked for General Motors was my first lease was a Pontiac G6, $256 a month. Then I got 4 Infiniti leases back to back starting in 2012. I had a G25, 3 Q50s, and then I leased the Jeep Grand Cherokee for myself. My wife drove the Infinitis. I've had 6 leases in my life. We're about to do another one shortly. I've had 6 leases. I pay cents on the dollar. Now, the difference is, pay attention, every lease deal is not, we'll get to that. Chuck Brown, he'll own it in 6 years. We'll get to that. Remember what Chuck Brown just said, y'all, because I just said that this person is paying $1,100 a month versus Ansley paying $5 something a month. And his response was he'll own it in 6 years. Let's get to that in a minute. But those leases that I had were literally cents on the dollar. I'm driving $40,000 vehicles and I'm paying the same amount as people who were buying used cars for $15,000 to $20,000. Because a $20,000 used car is about $400 a month on a 5-year loan. I didn't even have a payment over $400 until after 2022, when we got this Infiniti truck that we purchased. I never had a payment over $400 a month on any of my leases, and they were all beautiful cars. So I didn't need someone. I didn't even understand leasing early then, but you know what I understood? How much money was coming out of my bank account. You know what else I understood? What kind of car I was driving. You know what else I understood? When something broke, when something went wrong, I pick up the phone, I call a dealer. Hey, this light is on in the car. All right, no problem. What day would you like to come in? All right, I'll be there Thursday. Perfect. Here we go. Yeah, we checked it out as a warranty issue. No problem. You're all good. Have a nice day. No charge, because I'm always under warranty. Meanwhile, I'm seeing friends got tow truck drivers on speed dial, paying the same amount, if not more than me, because somebody told them they should be buying their cars. Now, there is the person who should be buying. That's called the long-term person. Because again, when we consider depreciation the unseen expense, it does not look like this forever. When the longer you keep a car, when you get to that 7-8 year period, this is what depreciation looks like. This is what depreciation looks like. It flattens out. And some of you who have cars that you've had longer than 8 years, the same, who has a vehicle that they've had longer than 8 years? Type the number of years that you've had it. Longer than 8 years, not 6, not 4. You have a vehicle right now in your driveway. I want you to type the number of years you've had it into the chat. These are the people who should be purchasing. If this is your goal, then you'll see there's less and less people that tap in on this question because there's less and less people who are actually keeping their cars this long. Do we even have any people? Okay, all right. See, and somebody type 6. No, longer than 8. That's not a long time. See, follow me. Look, 5. You gotta chill. I asked who has a vehicle outside that they've had longer than 8 years. See, because you think 5 years is a long time. It's not. Why is it? Because you're still in this cycle. Anytime you're still in this cycle of depreciation where you're losing thousands of dollars in value per year, that's not a long time. You haven't kept the asset long enough for the depreciation. Now, let's talk to some of these people. All right, I see you, Dean. 22 years you've had your vehicle. Mimi, 15 years. All right, I see somebody 14 years. I see Chuck Brown, 20 years. Bought it in 02. Gave the car to the kids. Phenomenal. I was gifted a car. That's no payments. That's why. Okay, God bless. Okay, Josu, 11 years. Okay, so here's the difference. Here's the difference. The difference is these people have beat depreciation. They beat depreciation. I just had to tap into Instagram so I can make sure I see their comment. These people, you beat depreciation. So the money that your car, that all of that money that you put into your car, it's now worth it because it's paid off and it's not depreciating. You can do what Chuck did, pass the vehicle down to your kids, no payment on it. These are the things that that this is what I call the reward stage. In my book, I call this the reward stage. Why is it the reward stage? Because you have no benefits of purchasing until you get there. What do you mean, Deshone? There's no benefits of buying cars? Lay them out for me. You're paying more. We're going to show you a lot more people who've gotten off the purchase train because they're not keeping their vehicles 8 years. They're losing in depreciation and they're overpaying on a monthly payment level. They're overpaying by thousands. We're going to show you a lot more of them. But the reward stage is where you get to for paying all of that money. It's expensive to purchase. It's expensive to purchase. I just showed you Ansley, who's driving a $59,000 Infiniti, paying $5 something a month. What was his payment? $554. That same vehicle to purchase would have been $1,100 a month with no money down. We're comparing apples to apples. So don't come to me. See, don't let people come to you and tell you, oh, well, if you put $15,000 down, no, it's no money down. You know why I never talk about money down? One is because we don't shop with money down. Money down is to manage your payment. It has nothing to do with the deal you're getting. And when we compare two deals, no money down, it's an apples to apples comparison. You can't, if I paid $554 a month, no money down to lease a vehicle, and you paid $554 a month to buy the vehicle, but you put $20,000 down, that is a very big difference. Is everyone clear on that? Type clear if you're clear. That two people, because people who purchase very rarely tell you about the money they put down. They often try to forget about it. But I know because I know how the numbers work out. So when we consider that purchasing is expensive, you run out of warranty unless you buy additional warranty. You're going to be out of warranty. You're going to have to take care of the maintenance. Those are things that are way more expensive. So when you have paid off the vehicle and kept it long enough for the depreciation to cool off, it's no longer losing value. You've reached the reward stage. But sadly, that is often where people, instead of keeping the car and saying, yes, I kept my car, I paid it off, I got my title, now let me just enjoy this thing being outside. I'm gonna put a little money to the side every month for maintenance, just in case something breaks, put me $200 a month to the side in an emergency fund. They don't do that. Most people go and they turn around and go buy a whole nother vehicle. Oh, I had this one long enough. All right, it's paid off. Let me go do it again. Throwing money away. One of the downfalls of leasing, you always have a payment. So people who lease, if you're going to lease, you always have a payment. As long as you lease, you have a payment. But what do I get for that? If I got a great lease deal, which is what we get, below market lease deals, I got a brand new car. I'm driving it for cents on the dollar compared to people who purchase. I'm always under warranty. I'm not dealing with maintenance and repairs. Benefits are clear. Now you could overpay for your lease. We had somebody who wrote in, I teach people how to know if they overpaid for your lease, the 1.5% rule. But if you can get the right structure in your mind first, everything else will start to get easier. I cannot show you how to get, I can show you how to get below market purchases, leases, but if you purchased, but you should have leased, you lost. So that's why this is step number one, rule number one in the Cars from Home system. It's called the 8-year rule. Very simple. Deshone, you just explained that, you laid that out, but what's the formula for us really knowing if I should buy or if I should lease? The 8-year rule. Very simple. If I'm buying my next car, if I'm keeping my next car at least 8 years, then I purchase. If I'm not keeping it 8 years, then I lease. Has nothing to do with how much I drive, has nothing to do with anything else but how long we're going to keep the car. It's very simple formula. Okay, so this is step one in my process in the Cars from Home system. It's 7 steps. Step one is the most important question, the 8-year rule. Step 7 is delivery. So everything in between that is to get you from step 1 to step 7. And for those of you who don't know about the Cars from Home system, that's everything I'm teaching. It's out of my new book, my digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. That means we're not spending more than 30 minutes in a dealership. We're doing everything from home. We're making dealers bid, banks bid, and we're not trading our cars. We're literally using the internet to create competition in the car market so that we guarantee that we paid less than everyone. We guarantee we got the most money for our old car. We guarantee we got the best loan. We use the internet to create that competition. So you can get a copy of my new digital book for 75% off. It's part of my welcome offer in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. Now, if you want a done with you system where you want to work directly with me, I've worked with over 2,000 people since 2021. You'll see a link there that says Shop with Deshone, and we can talk. You can see if you qualify for that. Not everyone will qualify for that program, but that's also there. There's a special offer for you there. And then we have a done for you program that's coming. We've actually just laid out the infrastructure to so if you see a button that says do it for me, then that means it's live. If that button's not there, that means the program's full and it's not live, so you can keep watching because that's real manpower. We're shopping for people all around the country, so that program's not going to be open to everybody. Okay, but I don't care how you get it. Get in where you fit in. Go ahead, Dolan. Let's go over the next question. Listen, remember that, y'all. 8 years. The rule is 8 years. I always like to wrap up a question with a period or an exclamation point. You don't have to do the math comparisons. I've done them already. 8 years is the time of purchase when you compare getting a great lease deal, a below market lease deal. And a below market lease deal looks different than what you're going to see on these commercials. Raphael, $46,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. She's paying $549 a month. That's a 1.19% lease. India, 2024 Hyundai Elantra Limited, $12K, $365 a month, no money down. These are below market leases. How did they get them? By sitting at home and letting the market bid for their business while they relax, not going into dealers and trying to negotiate for these deals. Look, Teddy, $73,000 BMW, $856 a month, no money down. Deshone, I see all these commercials. They say we need $5,000 down. That's why we don't care about commercials. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next question out. I see you, Al Patterson, clear. I see you, Ron Mills on Instagram, clear. Okay, my credit is 540. I need a car. Oh, wait, don't have a car at all. I can afford $500 to $600 a month. How should I proceed? Two things. If you don't have the credit right now to qualify for the best programs, you need to ask yourself the 8 year. See, nothing changes the 8-year rule. The 8-year rule, how many years are you keeping your next car? Doesn't change. If it's 8 or more, then you should be purchasing. If it's less than 8, then you should be leasing. But Deshone, I don't have the credit to lease. Okay, so we should set ourselves up to lease. That is what we're doing. This next vehicle that you get is either going to set you up to lease or it's going to set you back. See, oftentimes I don't know why my nose is itching. Oftentimes you look at your max budget and you go in and you're telling, first of all, I don't think there's anybody who gets worse deals than people with bad credit. It's almost criminal. I remember when I worked with dealers who would set up, there's two dealers I worked with, and I didn't work with them long term. One was 6 weeks. I was a manager at Hyundai, and one was Lexus, my short time at Lexus. When I worked there, I saw they had entire bad credit sales departments set up, special finance managers that knew how to work with the banks to get people approved, and they would invest tons of money into marketing because each one of those deals was making $8,000 to $10,000 for the dealership. So they invested into marketing to people with bankruptcies, to people with bad credit. And what they would do is they would bring you in and they're going to put a deal together for you. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to overpay for the car and the interest. 9 times out of 10, you're overpaying for the car and the interest. So a car that you should have gotten for $20,000, you're going to pay $24,000 for it because you're desperate and you're not shopping for your car the way you should be shopping, which is independent of the monthly payment. Independent of the monthly payment. The most savvy people know you don't mix monthly payment with the actual price of the car. They're two totally different things. Unfortunately, people have programmed you to go into a dealership and focus on the monthly payment, which has zero to do with the deal. How do I know that? Because let me give you the simple parameters of what a deal is. Multiple companies sell the same product. I bought from the person who sold it to me for the least price. Let me say that again. Multiple companies sell the exact same product. I bought from the one who sold it to me for the lowest price. Give you an example. Let's use an example you're very familiar with. Let's take spaghetti sauce. You can literally go into one supermarket and spaghetti sauce is $4.99. You go into another supermarket and the exact same spaghetti sauce is $6.99. You go into a third supermarket and the exact same spaghetti sauce is on sale for $2.99. And when you get the sale for $2.99, what do you say to yourself? I got a deal. Same thing with cars. You're looking at a Toyota Camry, the exact same product is at another Toyota dealership, they're selling it for a different price. Toyota Camry at another dealership, different price. And we know this because we've been in the market long. I've taught people to do this for years. If you get 5 offers, you're going to see 4 of them are overpriced. Out of 10 dealers on the strip, 10 Toyota dealers on the strip, literally 8 of them are overpriced. You need to know that. Now, I can't prove that to you. You have to prove it to yourself. Listen, when you look at people like the people who I'm showing, look at how many offers they said they got using our system. Look at Teddy. He didn't just walk in and casually get $856 a month. He said, I contacted 25 dealers, which is what we teach to do. In my system, we reach out to 25 dealers if we're shopping for a new car or a lease. He said 4 nearby states. I'm on the Indiana border, just outside of Chicago. I received 10 offers. Now, how did he do this? Using my scripts. I have email scripts that you copy and paste when you're shopping for new cars and leases, and you use the scripts. And it's a numbers game. We connect with 25 dealers online, takes us 20 minutes, then we get 5 offers. That's how we see the market. So now, when you look at shopping, if you don't have the credit to lease, then what you should be doing is saying, okay, if that's my goal, what can I do right now to set me up to lease? I got to make sure the only process because of my credit that I might not be able to bid out is my financing. Because a person with good credit, we bid out our financing to a bunch of banks and credit unions. I have no idea why is my nose itching. What does your nose itching mean? Got money coming? I'm just gonna claim it as that's what it means. So yeah, so now I need to. All right, so Rosalind, what I'm doing is my mission is to find the car at the lowest price. Whatever car I want, I need to make sure that I find it at the lowest price using the internet. And then what I'm going to do is get my financing separately, because when you don't have good credit, the only thing you should be overpaying for is your financing. And it's not really an overpayment. You're going to get a 20% interest rate, an 18% interest rate, a 22% interest rate, whatever the best is you're going to get, but that's independent of the car. You should not be looking at cars and having the dealer mix the financing together for you so that you don't know, oh man, I don't know whether I got a good price on the car or the interest or anything. And God forbid you trade in a car. Now you gave them 3 transactions, 3 different transactions. I sold you my old car. You got me thinking it's a trade. No, that's a sale. Literally, if you went in and traded your car, they wouldn't, if you didn't have a car you were buying from them, they would write up a bill of sale to purchase your old car. You sold them your old car. But that's an entire transaction. We separate that, because if you trade, you can't get bids. Then you gave them your financing, that's another transaction. And then you bought a car from them, that's a third transaction. So what I would tell you is you make sure you focus on separating the transactions. I have all of this in my book. I lay this out for you step by step. We have a system for shopping when you don't have good credit, but you need to, last thing, realize if you're trying to set yourself up for a lease, you should be getting the least expensive car that you can get a loan on. You should be getting the least expensive car. Why do I say that? Because if you get a car that's around 12,000, 10,000, that's going to be easy payments for you. If you go out and you look to spend this whole 500, 600 bucks, my worry for you is you're going to get a car that is not that good. You're going to go get a bigger car, something that typically is going to come with a higher degree of interest, because you're getting a $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 car. They're going to slap 20% interest on you. And then you're going to be trying to make that payment. And you have to make that payment every month. God forbid something happens, you miss it, you're in trouble. You're no closer to leasing. And you're going to run into some issues, especially when there's no warranty on that car. There's no warranty on the, like, these are things that we see it happen over and over again. People don't have the credit. If you don't have the credit, you should be saying to yourself, let me sacrifice for 2 years and let me build. Not let me go out and buy the biggest thing that I can get a loan on. No, let me get an inexpensive car. This is my sacrifice car. I'm going to drive this thing. I'm going to make on-time payments for 2 years. That additional money that I could have put in the car, I'm going to use that to fix my credit. I'm going to use that to make sure that in 2 years, my credit's a 700. Why are we don't put the money in a car and keep your credit at 550. Put some of the money into a car, put the rest of the money into fixing your credit, so that now 2 years from now, you got a 700 score. You flip out of that inexpensive car that was your sacrifice car. Now you go into a brand new lease, and people are like, wow, what happened, Rosalind? You were just driving. Yeah, I had a plan. I had a plan. Jazzy, see you later. We don't need people like you here. Let me get her out of here. There's no tolerance. I have no tolerance for people who think they know it all here. All right, so go ahead. Let's go. So, Rosalind, that's the plan. Sacrifice car. Now, if you're going to keep the car a long time, then go get the best car you can find. If you say, Deshone, I'm not interested in leasing, I'm going to keep my car 8-10 years. Go get the best car you can find. Make sure you use the bidding system, get multiple offers, shop the market. You can use our strategies or you can try it on your own, but you need to get the least expensive car. Then when you get your loan on it, realize that in 2 years or 18 months, when my credit's better, I'm going to refinance that loan into a lower interest rate. You can always change the loan. You can't change the car. So make sure your car is a car that will last 8 to 10 years, get a quality car. And that's the biggest priority. Long-term people with bad credit, no problem. Get a Great car, great price on the car, and then fix your credit, 18 months, 2 years, refinance into a better loan, keep the car, pay it off, go to the reward stage. Forget about leasing. Leasing is only for short-term people. You're not keeping your car 8 years. All right? Go ahead, Dolan. Pull the next question up. Dolan, let's roll. All right, Peter Rabbit. If you're leasing every 3 years, how do you save on paying the sales tax and registration every 3 years, which adds the total cost versus buying and holding 8 years? No, we just put the sales tax and everything into the payment. As you can see, most of these deals that I've showed and that will continue to show, look, Kia Telluride, 600 down, 600 a month. That's it. Greg leased. He leased a $56,000 Kia EV6 Win, $56,000 vehicle, $527 a month. No money down. Danielle, she leased an Audi A4, A3. Where is it? She leased a $44,000 Audi A3, $550 a month. No money down, just the first month's payment. And her lease included maintenance and everything. We don't see, you have to tell dealers how to quote you. If you go in the dealership and say, hey, first of all, if you're there, it's an issue because you have no leverage. So you're not going to get a below market price. You're going to just be trying to fill for the bottom. And if you're in what we call an 80% dealer, which is a dealer who's never going to go below a certain number, there's no way you can negotiate all day long. They say, okay, this is my lowest price. It's not the lowest price in the market. It's their lowest price. Because they'd rather say, I'm not going any lower. There's more money there. Absolutely. There's more money. But they're like, we ain't going. I'd rather sell this car to someone else than to take all of this money off for you. That's an 80% deal. So if you're structuring those leases and telling them, hey, just work me up a lease. Yeah, they're going to put a lease with money down and they're going to put a lease that has, plus tax and all of that. And yeah, we don't do that. When we shop, we tell people how to give us a quote for the lease. And then we 12K, 12,000 per year. We adjust it later. If you need more than 12,000 miles, you can adjust it before you close the deal. But we always shop with 12,000 miles per year because that's how we're comparing the offers. Because 12,000 miles a year allows us to hold the 1% rule to the standard. Some of you who, if you're savvy with leases, the 1% rule has been around for a long time. If your lease payment was 1% of the MSRP or less, you stole the car. Look at Greg, 1% lease deal. Look at Zafrina, 1% lease deal, $66,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $579 a month. Kimberly on her Maserati, look, $86,000 vehicle. No, that's not. That's actually that was her second offer. She ended up not taking that offer. She ended up getting this one. It was a $91,000 Infiniti, $944 a month on a 39-month lease, 1.094. These are 1% leases, 1% lease deals. Incredible value, incredible value. What I mean is I'm driving a very expensive car, new car. I'm paying cents on the dollar compared to purchasing, compared to what purchasers are paying. Anytime you add the payments up of a 1% lease deal, you'll see you pay such a small percentage to drive that car for 3 years. It's incredible. Now, we max out at 1.5%. I will not, under any circumstances, recommend a lease where the payment with no money down is above 1.5% of the MSRP, because if you add up all those payments, you'll see you're paying too much for a vehicle that you're giving back. Too much. In Jesus' name. You're paying too much. So, but it's the all-in cost, Peter. That's all it's about. Adding up, what did I pay over 3 years to lease this vehicle? What would I have lost in depreciation if I had purchased it? What would I have paid monthly to purchase it? And especially, I don't care if you're writing a check for cash. If you're buying a $40,000 brand new vehicle for cash, the depreciation on that money, the cash on cash return on that money is going to be it's a negative. Because think about it, if you put $40,000 cash into anything, and then you came back 5 years later and said, okay, what's my money worth? What would a $40,000 car be worth in 5 years? Probably 15 grand. Maybe 40,000 brand new. After 5 years, average miles, you're probably 15, 17 grand. No financially savvy person wants that deal. I'm gonna tie up 40 grand of my money. That money could have been in stocks. It could have been in businesses. It could have been working to beat inflation, to make me more money, but it was parked in a car. Thanks, Bill. I'm glad. You said this is great info. I'm glad. This is all we do here. This is all we've been doing for 3 years here. Hasn't changed. The mission stays the same. And we continue to expose people to this knowledge. Financial literacy. All I care about is people paying less for cars. And so for everybody who is like, man, nobody ever taught us this, is because, quite honestly, without the experience God gave me, we wouldn't know. I ran my own leasing company for 4 years. I worked for Mercedes, the top 3 Mercedes dealers in the country, Ray Katina. We were our own finance people. We had to understand finance, credit, resale value, all of the stuff that most car salesmen, they don't have to understand. So I'm blessed that my experience and what I've been exposed to allows me to tell you guys, this is from the inside. This is from the inside. So all of this is in my new digital book. For those of you who like, Deshone, I just want the whole blueprint. I don't want to try to remember any of this. The blueprint is my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's already 5-star rated. You can Google it, and you can get a copy. You won't pay $97. That's the normal price, but as part of my welcome offer, you can get yours for 75% off. That's $24, but it's only for 30 minutes. That's the welcome offer. So you go to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments, and you'll have the entire blueprint for below market leases, below market purchases, new cars, used cars, high mileage drivers. Some of you who are driving over 18,000 miles, you need specific strategies. That's in there, step by step for you guys. And you can get it for $24 as long as you get there before the 30-minute timer. For those of you who want to shop together and you want a more experience of working with me directly, I've worked with over 2,000 people since 2021. That's our Cars from Home Done With You system, where we have coaching calls, a private group. You can go to my bio and get information on both of those. There's a special offer on both of those. And I don't care how you get it, as long as you pay less than everyone else, and as long as you didn't spend more than 30 minutes in a car dealership, that's all I care about. You get in how you fit in. Okay, go ahead, Dolan, bring the next one up. Let's get to as many as we can. Some of these questions I just can't answer quickly. It's just impossible. I see a couple questions coming in on Instagram too. Thank you, Red's House. I appreciate you. I have a question. You mentioned in one of your videos the website to get car loans approval. Okay, so first of all, we have a website that first of all, I'm not affiliated with any company. No company pays me to mention them. I think when we look at the authenticity of what we need, we're using multiple companies because we're creating bids. So we need to get every single company's offer. So there's no company that would ever be endorsed over anything. But one of the companies that I do like is companies who give loans to people that don't have great credit. That's LendBuzz. I haven't worked with them, but I do recommend them in my book because they are one of the companies that you can use if you don't have good credit. Shop for your car the way we teach, whether you're shopping for a used car on the marketplaces or whether you're shopping for a new car using our 25 to 5, getting 5 offers. Then if you don't have the credit, you will use a company like LendBuzz to fund the loan. And then regardless of the terms, again, you can refinance that loan in 2 years, and you either keep the car long term or you can trade out of it and go into a lease. But when it comes to people with good credit, we do not isolate our business to one lender, because it goes back to the fact we get bids for everything. There's no way for you, anytime there's the potential for you to wonder if you could have done better, you did not get bids. You didn't get multiple offers. Because anytime you want to wonder if you could do better, the solution is multiple offers. That's it. So we're always getting multiple offers from banks, credit unions before we seal our deal. In my book, I call this the bank bidding war. We create a bank bidding war. credit bureaus allow you have multiple banks and lenders run your credit as long as it's within a short period of time. If you Google this, you'll see the rate shopping. Experian wrote a blog post explaining this. The rate window is between 14 and 45 days, where they can see when they look at your credit if you had a lot of hard pulls. If you had a lot of hard pulls, hold on, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. If you had a lot of hard pulls, as long as it was within a certain period of time, it will show it will only affect your credit like one hard pull, because they know you were rate shopping. Now, let me tell you what this isn't. This isn't going to dealers and letting them run your credit. Because many of you who have been taught you can do that, you've seen the effects on your credit spread, on your credit score. What we do is we seal the deal on our car, we lock it up with a deposit, we come home, and then we let the banks and credit unions work and bid for our business. That's it. That's what and then we let the dealers see if they can beat it. See, I want 10, 15, 20 banks competing for our loans. You should too. So as long as you do it according to what the credit bureaus allow, you can sign your loan guaranteeing you got the best loan in the market. That's the beautiful thing about it. Shop according to the way they tell you to shop. And again, this is laid out in my book, The Bank Bidding War. It's laid out in our Shop with Deshone program. We use the bank bidding war so that we guarantee. See, we need to guarantee. Those are the words I like. Those are the words I like. Guarantee. I don't want to wonder. These are words I hate. Wonder, hope, think. I think I did okay. I hope I did okay. Yeah, you wonder, you think we could have got more money for our car? You think I could have got them down $1,000 more? These are all disempowering ways to live and move and do business. We focus on guarantees. And the only way to guarantee you paid less for the car, the lowest price for a car you could have, you got the best loan, the lowest interest rate you could have, you got the most money on your old car, you didn't trade it, the most money you could have, is to create a bidding system where you're getting multiple offers. And that's what we do. That is the Cars from Home system. So that's what we don't have a specific bank we endorse, because banks are not our friends. I don't care if you own a bank, you can't be the lowest interest rate every time. You're going to be out of business. There's no way for one person to continually be the lowest all the time. It's going to be a rotating win. This time you won, in 3 years you're going to win, in 5 years you're going to win, because one person being the best all the time, they're going to be out of business. They're not making any money. So it's always going to be a rotating bidding process. Okay, all of this is laid out in my digital book. This is called The Bank Bidding War. We don't do the pre-approvals, because I'm going to tell you why we don't do pre-approvals, because they're onto it. What do I mean? Anytime we do something, the market begins to go somewhere that's going to give them more power and give them more leverage. As soon as we do that, websites and these companies adjust to it, and they try to find a way to limit us. So what happens was, we could always get soft credit pre-approvals until people started getting pre-approvals. I'm going to wrap this up with this good point, because we watched this happen over 2 years. We watched everything change. We had no problem getting soft credit pre-approvals before everyone. We had no problem getting soft credit pre-approvals before everyone started getting them. And then once everyone started getting them, they said, okay, well, we're not going to do the soft credit pre-approvals anymore. Now we want to hit your credit with a hard pull. But the bad thing about hitting your credit with the hard pull is, once you do it, it's two bad things. Once you do it, you've opened up that rate window, which is what I explained 2-3 minutes ago. You only have 14 to 45 days to shop multiple rates before that rate window closes, and you can no longer let people access your credit. And then the second thing, which is one of the worst, is they give you an expiration date on the pre-approval. Don't they? Who's ever had a pre-approval with an expiration date? Type me. Type me if you've had a pre-approval that you got for a car to go get a car, but it had an expiration date on it. Type me if you've experienced that. You know why I don't like expiration dates? Because your bank is now putting pressure on you to go find a car. This is just the way they do it. Why do they do it? To limit you. They know, Bank of America knows, if I could get Eric to give me a pre-approval to let me run his credit, he's not going to go shop more banks because he's going to feel like, man, all right, Bank of America already pre-approved me. That's one hit on my credit. Then they got this pre-approval. It expires in 45 days. So let me go out here and try to find a car. The last thing you're thinking about is shopping different offers from Bank of America versus them. See, everyone, if you realize that, I promise your life changes. If you realize, wait, the goal is to lock me in. That's correct. The goal is to lock us in to one dealership, lock us into one bank. And as long as you step back and realize, okay, that's your goal. You don't want me to shop. Your life is going to change. The way you shop for cars is going to change. The results you get is going to change because you're going to realize, and then you're going to see the signs as soon as you get on the phone with a dealership. So when can you come in? You ain't been on the phone with them for 3 minutes. So when can you come in? You don't even know what I want yet. Yeah, but I need you to come in so I can put those shackles on you, keep you from shopping. Y'all clear? Understand your enemy's goal. That's what you got to understand. Your enemy's goal. I know what your goal is. Keep me from shopping. So how can I make sure I win? Keep shopping. Simple solution. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Next question. And it's empowering. Getting multiple offers is empowering. When you see people bidding for your business, it's empowering. You realize you're the prize. They got you begging, thinking that they're the prize. Please sell me this car. Please, can you take off another $1,000? You're begging like they're the prize. We got the carrot. We got the carrot over here. Why are you going into any establishment to spend $40,000, a 5-figure transaction? Why are you going into any establishment and not feeling like you're the prize? So you step into our world, step into the Cars from Home world, embrace these mindsets and embrace the sitting at home and getting multiple offers, and you're going to see you are the prize. 100%. All right. Trade-ins. I have one that's working, but the engine is about to give out. Is it still tradable? Well, we don't. So you just use the word we don't use here. We don't trade cars. And I'm going to tell you why. You're not going to get anything. Listen, let me ask you a question. Everybody stay by your keyboard. I want you to answer this. Do you get name me an item that you can get the maximum value for trading it versus selling it on the open market? Name me an item that you can get the maximum value for trading it versus putting it on the open market to sell it. The open market is where the buyers are. So there are now, it used to be before the internet. That's why I'm just pointing us, all I'm doing is pointing us to the tools that God gave us to use. Thank God we have the internet. Before that, if you wanted to not trade your vehicle, you had to put a for sale sign on it. You had to do a private party sale. That's not the way it is anymore. Step 2 of my book, step 2 of the Cars from Home process is something called the equity assessment. That means we are putting our car on the open market and we're letting multiple cash buyers make us an offer. It's beautiful. You know why it's beautiful? There's no obligation to take the offer. It would be like if you owned a house and you can put your house on the open market to see the most you could get for it, but there was no obligation to sell it. You could just go on a website, you can have a bunch of home buyers bid on it, but there's no obligation. That's the way we could do with cars. And that's what we do. So what you should be doing is going to, these are the 6 companies that we currently use that we get offers from. Takes us 20 minutes. CarMax, Carvana, Driveway, Car Gurus, Auto Nation, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. The last 3 sites connect you with a local dealer. They make an online offer. The first 3 sites, they're online dealers, used car. Those are CarMax, Driveway, and Carvana, are online retailers, used car retailers. They make an offer direct. 6 offers, 20 minutes. Now, in the case of older cars, any car that you do not, that let's say it's worth less than 10, you should think about selling it privately. Especially when it comes to this vehicle, you're saying the engine is about to give out. The car is going to be worthless. Anytime the engine or transmission goes out, the vehicle's worthless. So what I always say is, if you can get a pre-owned, a salvaged engine, an engine from a salvage yard, a junk yard, that's why, hey, if you don't have a local mechanic, you need one yesterday. Everybody who's keeping their cars, I just had, my local mechanic is worth his weight in gold. Because if you're still going to the dealership to repair these cars, dealerships are charging you at least double in many cases, because they have to pay for these facilities. They have to pay for you drive by a dealership at night, you see all the lights on. They don't care about the electric bill. God, y'all got all the lights on, it's midnight. Yeah, that's why we got to charge these prices for service. So we always have a local mechanic, but what I'm doing, if I'm you, is I'm seeing, can I get me a pre-owned, a rebuilt engine so that the car drives, and then I'm putting it on the local market. Instead of getting $500 for the car, I could put an engine in the car for $2,000 with my local mechanic, and then I could sell the car for $5,000. That's a good investment. You invest $2,000 to make $3,000 profit, or you could just sell it as is for $500. It's up to you. There's no right or wrong here. These are the options. It's just good to know the options, because that car is not worth anything with an engine that's about to go out. It's not worth anything to a dealer. You're not going to want to sell it privately, because a person who's coming to look at it privately is going to, your conscience is not going to let you sell it to them, and that's for good reason. Engine's about to go. So, pick the best option for you. But again, we don't trade in cars. Only one person has to trade in their cars, and that's those of you who have a lot of negative equity. And that's why I want you to get out of this negative equity and stay out of it. Start leasing your cars. But some of you have negative equity every transaction. Every transaction. Every time you get a car, you got $5,000, $8,000 negative equity. That's not normal. That's not supposed to happen. You don't understand leasing, and you're going to keep buying your vehicles, coming to replace them before the loan's paid off, and just rolling negative equity into each car. You're burying yourself. It's like a snowball that just keeps getting bigger. You're paying thousands of dollars more than you could be paying in your monthly payments, and it's just a horrible way to move. So I get out of negative equity, transfer out of it, and what you should be transferring into is a lease. It's very, very simple. That's the prescription for negative equity. That's the prescription. Start leasing. Stop buying your vehicles. You are not a purchaser, but you continue to purchase. Okay, go ahead, Dolan. All of this is in my new digital book for those of you who want the entire blueprint. If you're like, Deshone, give me the whole blueprint. It's a do-it-yourself mastery guide to car shopping getting below market price deals. You can Google the book. It's a digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. And it's 5-star rated. You can get a copy as part of my welcome offer for 75% off. The book is normally $97. But as long as you get to my TikTok, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments before the 30 minutes is up, you got your copy for 75% off or $24. So as long as you get there before that. Now, once you get the book, make sure you screenshot the thank you page, save the thank you page, because there's a link to open the book on that page. There's also my support team's email, just in case that book is not in your inbox in 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes you type your email incorrectly, you can reach out to my support team to make sure you get your book immediately. Okay, but it'll be in your inbox. In 3 to 4 minutes, you'll have the entire do-it-yourself blueprint. For those of you who want to shop together with me in a more of an immersive way, instead of reading, you want step-by-step videos, then you can go to those same links and you can hit the Shop with Deshone link, and you'll activate the special offer for those. And we have a done for you program coming. So our goal was always to have do-it-yourself, done with you, and done for you. But the done for you has taken the most time for us to build the infrastructure for, because this is actual people on my team and we're shopping for you. So if you don't see a link there when you go there, that means the program is closed right now, because every time it fills up, we're going to close it out so we can make sure that we are, effectively shopping for clients all around the country. So 3 programs, get in where you fit in, do it yourself, done with you, done for you. Either way, get the information so that, when you look at your car deal, you've assessed the entire market. When you get a lease, a purchase, a used car, you should know everything that's within 100 miles. Everything. All the dealerships that had the car, all the offers, that's a market report. That's what we do. That's what we teach you to do, to see the market. So that way you can pick the below market deal. You're going to see tons of people overpaying, tons of people getting average deals, and then we pick the lowest one. That's the power of shopping the market. Go ahead, Dolan. Okay, so how do you go about leasing the car through the company you work for? All you're doing is changing whose name it's going in. It's not a big process change. If you are working for a company and it's your company, then you would shop normally. And then when it comes time to sign the paperwork, instead of you putting it in your personal name, doing a personal credit report or a personal credit application, you would be putting it into the company's name, and you would be doing a business credit application where the company goes first and then you go on as the personal guarantor. It's very simple. The shopping process, the selection process, the leasing versus buying process should not change at all, unless you're running a rental company. Those are the only people that I don't say. If you're running a company where your goal is to put as much mileage on the car as possible, and you don't know how much miles you're going to put, you might put 40, you might put 30, you might put 45. You don't know. If you had a good year, you'll put 50,000 miles on it. Those are the people you should not be leasing. You should be structuring your loan to the time you want to replace the vehicle. So, example, if I'm buying vehicles for my rental fleet, I'm asking myself, when am I going to replace these vehicles? And if I say, okay, let's figure 4 years, every 4 years, I'm going to turn the inventory, then you need to have no more than a 4-year loan. Because if you have less than a 4-year, if you have a 5 or 6 year loan, or God forbid, longer than 6, we never recommend that, you're going to have negative equity. And what you're doing is you're pushing your losses to the back. So what you're doing is you're saying, okay, instead of a 600 payment, 600 a month payment, I want a 425 payment. Now you're making your profit on a monthly basis, but the problem is this: when you get to the point where you're ready to replace your vehicles, you're going to still owe 10 grand on your car, 12 grand on your car, but your car is going to be worthless because you're a super high mileage driver. So your car is going to be worth $2,000, $3,000, but your loan is still going to be 12, 15 grand. It happens all the time. When Uber started, I remember being in a dealership and Uber drivers coming in with 200-something thousand miles on their car, and you ask them how much they owe, and they still owe 15 grand, or they still owe 12 grand. You're pushing your losses to the back. You want a little more monthly profit, but you're going to lose on the back end. Take a little less profit per month, get a shorter loan, so that when you go in to replace your cars and your inventory, it's paid off. You're already writing it off anyway. So it's no point in you pushing these losses to the back. That extra $175 per month you're going to pay, you're writing it off anyway. So you're not even paying the full $175. And when you go to replace your car, instead of negative equity, you got a car you could sell on the market for probably 5 grand, 7 grand and get something for it, even though it has 200 and something thousand miles on it, or 300,000. Very big difference. This is business sense. Okay, Dolan. Shout out to everybody who's hitting the like button, and shout out to the sharers. I appreciate it. Jeremy, I see you. What's going on? Good to see you, Eric. I'm glad, man. I see you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for everybody who's checking in. Let's go. Go ahead, Dolan. YOLO, very simple. Multiple offers. Very simple. Multiple offers. Oh, wonderful, Fierce, fabulous. Use it. Use it. Go ahead, Dolan. You can pull the next question up. Just use it. That's all I care about. Write me. Make sure you send me your deals. After you get your deals, send me your email. I love to see you guys when you guys send me your deals because we bring them into the show. 20 years, bought no two, gave the. Okay, perfect. I think that was somebody who was just commenting on, when I asked them about keeping, how long they keep their cars. What's the best way to shop for a used car? Let's see. Best way to shop for a used car, we use the marketplaces. We don't go with, see, I have two strategies in my book. Two strategies. One is for shopping for new cars and leases. One is for shopping for used cars. Very big difference. New cars and leases, we're using something called the 25 to 5. We're going to connect with 25 dealers to get 5 offers minimum. Very simple. You're using email scripts. Very simple. With pre-owned cars, I see you, Bill. Thank you. Just ordered your book. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Use it. That's all I care about. Use it. You're empowered now. No more than 30 minutes in car dealerships. You're wonderful. Wonderful. I love to see everybody who's getting your book use it. Okay? Use it like a blueprint. If the book doesn't say do it, don't do it. If you just hold yourself accountable to the steps, you're just fine. I see you. All right. So when back to the used car strategy, we're using the marketplaces because every used car, we need to see the market. You can't see the market going to new car dealers and asking them, hey, show me what used cars you got. No, the market is online. When we're shopping for used cars, it's like we're shopping on Amazon. We're looking at the marketplaces, we're looking at the sellers, and then we're seeing the first thing we're going to do is we're going to assess the market. We're going to put in our and listen, this is really not the first thing because we do a budgeting in my book. I have a calculator that you use. It budgets out all your goals. It tells you exactly what you can spend, and it gives you multiple goals that are below your max goal. Because the problem with shopping with your max, every time you shop with your max, you go over it. You go in, you're saying, hey, I want to spend 500. I want to spend no more than 500. You end up spending 575, right? That's why we never shop with the max in mind. We cannot shop with our max. So I have a calculator called the Perfect Budget Calculator. You're going to put in your comfortable down payment, comfortable monthly payment. You're going to put in what state you live in. It's going to factor in all the tax, and it's going to tell you this is where you could be. It's going to give you multiple goals, a 5-year goal, a 6-year goal, no money down, with money down. It's going to lay them out for you. Then once we get the market, now we're putting in our we're putting in our criteria in all the marketplaces. And what we're doing now is assessing the low side of the market to the high side. What is the low side of the market? 18,000. Okay, we need to know that. Now, most times the low side of the market is going to be where you have the crap. It's going to be bad title. It's going to be accidents. It's going to be salvage title, frame damage. That's okay, because we need to know where that low side of the market is so that when we have a vehicle pop up close to that price, we know this is where the low side is. So once we open those marketplaces, we create accounts on every one so that we get notified of new vehicles that hit the market. Oftentimes with a pre-owned car, we're not getting it the first day or the first week because we don't know the market. We need to open it up. We need to look at where the low side is, turn on alerts so that when the new inventory hits, we're the first to see it. Most people, when new inventory hits, they're not going to be able to know if it's a good deal because they don't know the market. So a new car hits, a new used car hits the market. They don't know it's a good deal because they don't even know the market. We're going to be notified new inventory. Oh, perfect. This is 18.5. Let me see. Bad Carfax. No problem. Oh, this one's 19,000. It's on the low side of the market. Hey, you look at it. Oh, good Carfax. Good service records. Service records are non-negotiable. I will not ever encourage a person to buy a used car without incredible service records. It's one of the biggest indicators on whether the car was taken care of or not. Great service records, non-negotiable. I will not, it's a non-negotiable. Deshone, what if they change the oil themselves? If I can't see service records over the life of this car, I'm never buying it. All it takes is a couple years to not have good on-time service, and it will and it can hurt the life cycle of the car. So we're looking at title, we're looking at service records, we're looking at accident reports, and we're narrowing it down. Now, the last thing we're going to do is two things. We're going to verify on these marketplaces. Once we narrow these down to our top choices, I'm here to let you know, and some of you have experienced this. Who's had a vehicle that they saw on a used car, they saw it online for one price, and when they get to the dealership switches the price? Who's had that happen? Thanks, Sporty. I see it. Thanks, J Dib. Who's had that happen? You saw a car, they're asking $18,000. You get to the dealership, it's either they change the price or they say, okay, yeah, it's $18,000 plus you got a prep fee, you got a service fee, you got the marketing fee. All right, so you go from $18,000, total is going to be $26,000. Whoa, what? How we go from 18 to 26? Easy. This was the strategy all along. That's why when we narrow it down to our top searches online, we're always verifying what are the fees before we go to the dealership. It's extremely important we verify the fees before we go to the dealership. Because if you go to a dealership that has fake fees and you didn't verify them, not only did you waste your time, you actually lost the vehicle potentially. You lost the vehicle that didn't have the fees that you should have bought, because by the time you come back from that waste of time, that other vehicle has sold. So you lost 2 times. That's why a simple step, verifying fees, this is in our process before we ever go to a dealership to see a used car. And then we're going to get the new price. We're going to find out what the new price is, because oftentimes you guys they make you think, when they say this is a good used car deal, they make you think that in some way is a good deal. How can we know it's not? Let me tell you this, and you're probably like, Deshone, it seems like pretty much the whole car business is smoke and mirrors. Yes, you're getting it. If you're saying to yourself, man, it seems like everything in the car business is against us. Yes, you are getting it. Because these things have been set up to make billions of dollars in profit and keep people in business for many years. And it works. The worst thing that you can do is change anything. Best thing you can do for a car dealership, just keep doing what you've been doing. Keep going in, trying to negotiate, thinking that's going to help you. These things been around for years. But the way to step out of this system is to totally step out. Because you can see once you step out of this, you're going to see how this whole thing has been working. Swallowing people up, trapping them. That's what it's about. But you're unlearning that. So we have to get the price of a used car, what it was when it was new. You cannot buy a used car without getting the price when it was new. I'm going to tell you why. When I was getting my used Infiniti, I bought it 3 years ago. It was 2 years old at the time. I had narrowed my searches down to 4 of them. They all looked similar. White, all had between like 24,000 miles and 36,000 miles. And they were all from like 30,000 and change to 32,000, 31,000 and change. They were all like between $1,800 apart. So I narrowed it down. They all look similar. Most times, without the step that I'm breaking down for you, which is in our process, I would have picked the wrong vehicle. Because once I got the new window stickers, we get this from the Carfax. I have a link in my book that I recommend, Carfax. You can get it for free, but it's also, you got it. Not every brand works with Carfax to put their window stickers there. Some do, but not every brand. So we got the Carfax. We got, there's a link that somebody wrote a blog post, and they had a couple links. I snatched it from Car Edge. And then if necessary, we pay for it. Well, I'll pay $5 to find out what the new vehicle price was of all the top choices. You got to understand, this is just like a home inspection. You don't go into a house and say, all right, everything is going to be, no, you're going to pay 400, 600, 800 for a home inspection. These are little costs that protect you. Start getting used to it. So I'll pay $5 and I'll get the new price. But here's the point. Those 4 white Infinities that I had narrowed it down to, once I got the new price, I found out one of them was 46,000, brand new. One of them was 48, one was 52, and the one we ended up getting was 54. That changed everything. This is how much getting the new price changed everything. See, I'm looking at the 4. Watch this. I'm looking at the 4, and they look similar to me. Man, similar miles, similar price range. They're only about $1,600 apart. Then I get the window sticker and I see, 46 new, 48, 52, 54. Now they're major difference. Now they're nowhere close. So I snatched the one that was 54. It ended up being a 42% discount off the new one. And that's what we do. We take the new prices. I have a calculator called the True Value Calculator. You put in the new price, put the window sticker price. It tells you this vehicle is giving you a 40% discount off of when it was new. This one's a 32% discount. This one's a 45% discount. Now you can see, okay, these car prices aren't as close as I was led to believe. These are the things that lead to empowerment. These are the things. Shopping for cars the way you shop for small houses. That's what we do. You stop shopping for cars like TVs. Start shopping for them like small houses. So all of this is in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get a copy of it. It's normally $97. It's a digital book. If you Google it, you'll see it's 5-star rated. You can get a copy for 75% off as part of my welcome offer. In my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments, and you'll have it in your inbox in 5 minutes. You'll have everything we teach, everything I teach from these streams, everything in my free vid. And listen, once you get anything from me that is a blueprint, you can stop watching videos, because videos for me is my warnings. It's too tough for you to piece together, because I'm talking to used car people, I'm talking to lease people, I'm talking to high mileage drivers, I'm talking to, people with bad credit in some videos. So you trying to piece it together, it's going to be tough. You can do it. Some people have done it. But I'm saying, once you have my book, or once you're in my done with you programs, or you don't have to worry about that no more, because you have the information in a step-by-step way. Where the videos of you piecing it together is going to be difficult, but you can stop watching those after you have any of my step-by-step blueprints. Okay, all right, we've been on for an hour and 20 minutes. All right, let's go to a couple more. Go ahead, Dolan. Pull the next one up. Let's see what we got. Can I sell my Mercedes lease to CarMax? You need to call them and you need to ask them, do they have a third-party restriction? So what you're going to do is you're going to get those 6 offers. And if they have a third-party restriction, we do not buy the car and resell it, because a third-party restriction does not mean you can't sell your lease. It limits who you can sell to. So instead of you being able to sell to any dealership, whether it's a used car dealer, whether it's CarMax or Driveway or Carvana or Mercedes, they limit who you can sell it to. You can only sell it to a Mercedes-Benz dealership. That's okay. We're going to get bids, multiple offers. So I have a script in my book and in my program where I teach you how to call a used car manager. We're going to get at least 5 offers from used car managers to see who's going to buy the car. But the first thing to do is see if you even have equity. There's no point in going through that. And equity, some people think equity, back in 2021, 2, 3, equity was almost a guarantee. Because every vehicle was worth $7,000 to $12,000 more than it would normally be worth. So almost everybody from 2021 to from really end of whenever, let's call it end of 2021, end of 2020, as soon as limited inventory became a thing, car values went up. And, the equity and leases, was there based on resale value. Equity is a bonus, though. People should not be going into a lease looking for equity at the end. You're going into a lease to drive vehicles for cents on the dollar. That's what you're going into a lease to do. To drive vehicles, look, like Rosalie, a $60,000 Infiniti QX60 that she's paying $592 a month for, no money down, below the 1% mark, all via emails. That's what you lease for, to drive wonderful brand new vehicles for cents on the dollar. Equity is a bonus. Equity is a nice surprise. Wow, didn't count on this. Equity is for the people who you're a super low mileage driver, 5,000 miles a year, 7,000, but the minimum lease that you could get was 10,000, and so you might have a higher resale value because you're barely driving the vehicle, and you can now snatch some of that equity out when you sell the vehicle at the end. Equity is not a guarantee. So the first thing you want to do is find out what is the vehicle worth on the open market. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book, Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, and Car Gurus. Get those 6 offers. If those offers are significantly above your payoff, 3, 4, 5,000 above your payoff, then you ask the leasing company, do you have a third-party restriction? And if you don't have a third-party restriction, you can sell directly to them. If you have a third-party restriction, then we're going to get bids from a used car dealership, from a dealership that makes the same brand. And I have a script for how we talk to the used car managers. We never talk numbers with salespeople. We are never, if you're ever talking numbers with a salesperson verbally, you're ever getting offers from a salesperson verbally by phone or in person, you did not use our system. It's very clear. We do not negotiate with salespeople in person. We don't talk to salespeople about numbers. We're either dealing with managers or we're dealing online. That is what we do. So whether you have a third-party restriction or not, if you have equity, we get the equity. If there's no third-party restriction, you sell to the highest bidder. If it's third-party restriction, you sell to the highest dealership that makes you the highest offer. Just got to know what to do no matter what. And that's what we do here. We have a step. We know everything. I'm going to say we know 99%. And whatever that 1% is that we don't know, when my people bring it to me in our Facebook group, if it's something I never saw before, then I know who to call to get the answers. I remember when the third-party restrictions first started hitting. I had never seen them before. I knew who to call to get the answers. And once I got the answers, we updated what we teach, and we kept it moving. Because unfortunately, when third-party restrictions came out, a bunch of people started just buying their leases and reselling them, paying taxes and fees to purchase. So they're like, hey, all right, I got $5,000 of equity. Now they buy it, resell it. By the time the title comes, they done got the value of their car went down a little bit. Plus they paid $3,000 in taxes and then another motor vehicle fees and documentation fee. They're lucky if they wind up with $1,000 when they could have just sold direct to a dealership if they knew how to move. Knowledge is power, and ignorance is expensive. It's expensive. Is December a good time to buy, and how good? There's no time. Anytime somebody has marketed to you a best time to buy, it's because they want you to come in, and they know that people are going to come in predictably because they think they're getting a better deal. There is no better time. There's no best time. If you look at all of the people that I show, look at Tope, look at Bonita, look at Greg, Danielle, Kimberly, Eddie. These below market deals happen in every month of the year. Every month of the year. Zafrina, Pierre on his used car. These below market deals happen. Look, Tiffany on her Mazda CX90, $44,000 vehicle. Using my book, she said, I believe we got a great deal. What we learned from the book, $6,530 discount off a brand new Mazda CX90 Turbo Preferred. $6,530 from home. Look, Jared, March. There's no time. Because here's what happens. Throughout the month, dealerships get desperate. And if you're shopping multiple dealerships, you're going to have a dealership that needs to sell a car, and they're going to reach out to you, and they're going to do a deal that they don't really like to do. They don't really want to do, but they have to do it because they need to sell. Dealerships are not desperate. The last thing we were when I was in the dealership and it was Labor Day, the last thing we were desperate. Why would you be desperate when there's a showroom full of people? I'm talking to you, Mr. Kelly. Listen, but Mr. Kelly, I got 2 people waiting in the wings. Like, we have more customers in this showroom right now than we have people, salespeople. So I'm going to make you this offer, Mr. Kelly. But if you don't want the offer, then no problem. I need to move on to somebody else because you can see there's people walking out. Why would we make a deal when we have a showroom full of people? There's no desperate vibes there. The only desperate vibes are coming from you, the customer. That's why it's totally disempowering. So there is no best time to buy a car. There is a worse time when you need one. To go into a dealership when you need one. I would like you to stop waiting till the last minute to car shop. What I recommend is you get into the market 3 months early, whether you're leasing or looking for a used car. You'll see in my strategies, I teach you how to watch the market, say no. If you don't like a deal in October, you can say no in November. You don't like a deal in February, you can say no in February and see what the program is in March. You can say no in March, see what the program is in April. You can watch these deals if you don't wait till the last minute all the time. Now, if you waited till the last minute, no problem. You can see Ashley said, hey, I started my process Saturday. I accepted a deal Monday. All we need is 48 hours. If you use our stuff, all we need, you can see that. Let me pull that up for the people who want. Look at the last paragraph. Started the process Saturday, accepted a deal Monday. Car delivered Thursday. But I don't want you to be in the habit of continually car shopping when you need a car because you don't have the 90 days to really watch the market change. And that's the benefit. But they've created so much anxiety and fear in you that you just want to wait till the last minute and then, all right, let me just go ahead and get it over with. What type of decision you think you're going to make with that energy? All right, man, we waited long enough. The lease is up this Saturday. Let me just go in here. Now you go in saying stuff that gets you a worse deal. Like what? My lease is up Saturday. Okay. Cha-ching. Man, hey, man, listen, I was putting this off to the last minute. Now I waited to the last minute. I got to make a decision. Cha-ching. Thank you for telling me that. You tell these people that, you don't realize it means more money for them. And then they use that against you when you're, oh man, I really want to think about it. Wait, but Mr. Kelly, didn't you say the lease is up Saturday? Yeah, I mean, how long you thinking you want to sit on this? Because God forbid this vehicle gets sold that you wanted. Now you come in, I don't even have anything to offer you, and your lease is up Saturday. Now they're using what you said against you because you're in a hurry. So what's the solution? Don't even be there. We are in a dealership to test drive. We're in a dealership to look at our options, to see how big the vehicle is. Like literally, we're in a dealership to shop. I have an entire step that I call shopping, not buying. We don't mix them. Step 4 in our process is shopping. That's deciding what we want. We don't mix that with buying. Some of you go in, you're shopping, you're looking around. Next thing you know, you're driving a car home. You're not getting a below market deal doing that because you don't even know what the market is. If I don't know all the prices within 100 miles of here, I'm not buying. And the only way we can do that is from home. That's why our entire system, the entire mindset is called Cars from Home. You have all the power at home, all the comfort at home, the resources to talk to multiple dealers right at home. You lose it all when you go into dealerships. Okay? So all of this is in my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's normally $97. You can get a copy for 75% off as part of my welcome offer. So if you get there, but it's only for 30 minutes. Only for 30 minutes. After that, the price goes back up to $97. And at $97, it's worth every penny. You can look at it on Google. You can see the reviews. It's going to be one of the most financially valuable books you've ever owned. That's a guarantee. But if you get there before 30 minutes, you get your copy for $24 instead of $97. So it's even sweeter. But you get to my TikTok bio, my YouTube, my Instagram bio, the comments, the Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments. There's a special link there for you to activate that. And also for those of you who want to shop together, I've been shopping with people all around the country since 2021. We have our Cars from Home Done With You program. And that's where we, instead of you reading, we go into an immersive learning experience with step-by-step videos. We have a private Facebook group, and we have coaching calls twice a month that we do together. So that has been, when you start seeing all of these people that I share, some of them wrote in because they have my book. Some of them are in our Facebook group, but everyone's using the same system. And then lastly, we have our Done For You program launching. It may not be there when you click the link because the program could either be closed or it's only a limited number of people that we can take in. In those last two programs, you do need to qualify for. So I don't care how you get it. And I'm going to continue to say that. We make a bunch of free videos. We do a bunch of streams. We don't hold back on anything. No one could ever say, Deshone, man, you put all the good stuff in the book. No, all the good stuff is everywhere. It's just how you want it. That's why it takes me long to answer these questions. If I was holding back, every time somebody asked a question, I would just be like, I would say 2 sentences and then, okay, get the book. No, I lay out exactly what's in the book, and then I say, it's in the book if you don't want to remember it. So we're not holding back at all. But I do realize that you might want to say, man, give me the blueprint. Give me the do-it-yourself blueprint, or let me do this together with you, Deshone, so I can guarantee I don't make any mistakes. And that's why we make these things available. So go to the links, get your special offers there. I will see you all wherever you go, wherever you decide to go. But make sure you send me your deals when you make them. Let's continue to unlearn, realize that almost everything that the car business has programmed you to do, not taught you, because you never learned to buy cars, you never took a class. So the way you buy cars has been what's been programmed. You were indoctrinated into it. All of that is for their benefit. And the worst thing that you could do to them is to change anything about how you are car shopping. Because when one person changes what they do, when they start seeing those appointments on holidays, instead of 200 people walking in, they start seeing 100. And then they start seeing, instead of 100 people who contact them on the internet, they start seeing 200. And then instead of the 100 coming in, now they only have 25 people coming in on a holiday, and they have 300 people contacting them online. That's when they'll know everything has changed. People have moved to online totally, and we have to get ourselves together or we're going to be out of business. So we got a while before that happens, but one person at a time, we are helping get out of that programming so that they can come home and get below market deals. That's our mission. All right, God bless you all. Thanks for tapping in. Always a good time. I'll see y'all on the next stream. God bless you. Great to see everybody checking in for car shopping questions and answers. If you never met me, I'm your host. I'm known as Deshone the Auto Advisor. And my mission is to make sure that you know how to pay less than everyone else for cars. So if you are car shopping, or you will be soon, I want you to type a 1. You're in the right place, and you can start to type your questions in. Not only do I answer as many questions as I can in about an hour, I'll also be sharing some information that I just think you need to know. One of the biggest things that you need to know right now is to sell your electric vehicles. And I've been on a mission to let people know that from the get-go. These are great vehicles to buy. These are absolutely great opportunities to buy, to lease rather, but buying them is dangerous. If you just look at what the electric car market is, a very soft market. Dealers are discounting them 15, 20 grand, some of them, to move them. Milligan, if you guys know Milligan's deal, she got almost $27,000 off her Mercedes. Why is this happening? Because the market's very soft. It's very soft on these cars. So the best thing you could do is to not buy them and to lease them, but also to understand that if you own one right now, you should be looking to get it. You should be looking to sell it, because those are going to, depending on who becomes president, and at the time you might be watching this, if Donald Trump's president, then he's already said there's going to be no electric car mandate. So that means that the demand for electric cars, making them, is going to go down, because they didn't want to make the cars. When I was with Mercedes-Benz, some of you know I've spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz. They did not want to make electric cars until they were made to make them. Until they were made to make them, they had just spent their time making better engines. Who remembers the V8 engine? Rest in peace. Everything they did over the last 5 years was to make, I see your questions start to come in. Keep typing your questions, everybody. Once we see enough questions come in, we'll start getting to them. But I want to make sure you know that you need to dump your electric vehicles if you're not holding on to them for another 6-7 years, because the short-term losses in the value of these vehicles is just too much. There's some vehicles you bought for 40, 50,000. They're going to be worth half of that in 3 years or less. Like, the best thing to do is to get out of these cars now, unless Kamala Harris gets in, and they're going to continue to put the money in. If Kamala Harris is president when you're watching this, they're going to continue to put the money in to the electric car market, and that being the future. Therefore, your investments are protected. And when I mean your investment, you bought an electric car, you might have not thought it was an investment, but it doesn't matter what you think. If somebody buys something for 30,000 and then 2 years later it's worth 15,000, that was a bad investment. So I'm talking to you as when it comes to these cars, I speak to you as investments, so you understand they're not going to make you money, but they certainly can take a lot of your money if you don't know what you're doing. What's going on, Seymour? Rena Moni, good to see you. Shine Box, good to see you. So as we get more questions, we'll get them in. Let's get to all the ones we got. What do you recommend after filing a Chapter 7 bankruptcy? I still have my vehicle. Has it been absorbed into the bankruptcy? First thing I tell people out of bankruptcy is start building your credit again. Because although I'm not a credit professional, I have seen many people go through a bankruptcy and literally build their credit to a 700 score in a year. You have a fresh start. The best to follow Shonda Martin on all over social media. Her page is Road to 750 Plus. Some of you know Shonda. If you know her, shout out Shonda. You can attest to the fact she's one of the best I've ever seen when it comes to just knowing the ins and outs of credit. When it comes to being able to answer all your questions. She does a lot of lives, and she can help you. She's helped me and my family just by knowing stuff that we didn't know get our score 75 points higher, just by understanding things that we just didn't know. It's more than just paying your bills, it's structuring. So I don't like to talk credit because that's not my area of expertise, but I do know that the first thing you should be trying to do is get your score up, because you got a blank canvas now. You can get yourself to a high score in a very short period of time. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one in. All right, I see K-Jam on TikTok. All right, I see we got questions coming in from TikTok. Let's keep them coming. Type your questions fast, because once we start getting too many questions, you're not going to be able to get your question answered. I'm in a lease now. I'm overpaying, and I want to get out of it. I have an idea between 2 cars that I would like to get. What is your best suggestion? Realize you signed a contract. And when you sign a contract, you can't undo the contract because it's a bad deal. So you have to understand that if you're trying to get out, we have to assess, can we get out? And does it make financial sense to get out? So what you want to do is you want to get your payoff, find out what your payoff is, call the leasing company. And the first thing you want to see is, can I sell the vehicle? If you can sell the vehicle, then you can get out without penalty. If you cannot sell it, then you're going to have to be responsible for any payments that are remaining or any mileage that is remaining. Who's had a dealer call them and say, hey, come, we'll get you out of your old car? Who's had a dealer call? Who's getting calls right now? Letters, emails, calls. Come on in, we'll get you out of your old car. Don't worry about it. Type me if you're getting that. And those of you who are new here, we dialogue here. So you need to be close to your keyboard. We're talking about financial literacy here. We're talking about money in your bank account here. This is not one of those dreams where you just sit back and he's so funny. No, this is not what we do here. So engage, and you're going to get the most out of what we're doing. The reason why you're getting those calls, I see you, Declinique, is because they want to actually make you think that they actually will take care of the old stuff and there's no penalty. But there's no way for you to get out of a contract without someone buying you out of the contract. So when dealers say, hey, come on in, we'll take care of your old payments, what they really means, what that translates to, and I was in car dealers for 14 years. It translates to, you're going to have all that old baggage rolled over to your new deal. That's what it means. So we have to look at, does it make sense? Call the bank, get your payoff. And then you want to see, what is this car even worth on the open market if somebody paid cash for it? This is a step I call the equity assessment, where you're going to get cash buyers to make you an offer online. You go to CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, and Car Gurus. This is my equity assessment process. This is part, when you get my book, some of you have it, that's step 2. We must assess our equity, and we don't go to websites we don't go to dealers to find out what our car is worth. We don't go to websites where we just put a little information in 30 seconds it says your car is worth $18,000. These are 5-minute appraisal sites where the buyers are making you cash offers so that you really know what your car is worth. So once you determine if you have equity or not, that's going to determine if you can get out of the lease and how much penalty you are going to need to bring over for breaking the contract. See, the best thing to do is to realize, for the next contract you sign, you can't get out of a car as easy as you've been taught. Now, if you go to 10 dealerships, someone can get you out of a car. That's not what I mean. I mean, it's going to be a terrible financial deal. When you look at the money you're going to roll over, you're already overpaying for one car. Now you're going to say, get me out of this car, charge me the penalty, roll it over to my next car, just make sure that the monthly payments are affordable. This is how people lose thousands of dollars, and they're just paying their little $600 a month, and they don't realize that they're paying $600 a month, but their payment should have been $400 a month. They're just paying, well, I can afford the $600, so I guess I'm doing okay. You're not doing okay. So you want to assess what the equity is, and then you want to look at how many payments you have left and see, does it make more sense for me to get out and take the remaining payment hit penalty, or does it make more sense if I get somebody to buy the car? If CarMax wants to buy it for 20 grand and I only owe, 22, then yeah, I might pay that $2,000 for me to get out. This is something I call, in my book, this is step 2. That would be similar to the negative equity step. This is step 2. So those of you who have my book, if you don't know, my new digital book is called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's 5-star rated. You can Google it. Very well known on Google. You can see all the reviews that people have written about it. And it's normally $97, but as part of my welcome offer to you, you can get a copy for 75% off, but it's only for 30 minutes. So if you get to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments in 30 minutes, you get a copy for $24, and it'll be in your inbox in 5 minutes. You'll have all this stuff. So let's go. Keep typing your questions. Again, get your questions in early, because once we start getting too many questions, it's harder for you to get your questions answered. How long should you keep a vehicle if you buy it? 2023 Infiniti QX60 Autograph, at least 8 years. Because the amount you're paying for this is going to depreciate so drastically. All right, let me ask everybody on here. This gentleman or this person bought a looks like probably a $60,000 SUV. It's a 2023. What is that vehicle worth? 60,000. What is that vehicle worth 1 month after he buys it? 1 month. Throw some numbers out. $60,000 SUV. He drives off the lot with it. How much is it worth 1 month later? Just throw out some numbers. Let's see what we come up with. Because there's a lot of people on here that understand depreciation. All right. The Clinique said 50. 40K Jam's that's a little tough. Listen, some electric cars are depreciating that fast. Because so K Jam says it's worth 40. He lost 20 grand. If the new price of that vehicle, if I could get a new one for 20,000 off, like, oh, Deshone, what do you mean you could get some vehicles for 20,000 off? Well, I'll show you 3 right now. Kimberly got a Maserati, 20,000 off, $91,000 vehicle. Now she leased it. Sean got his F-150 Lightning for, look, $21,000 off. And I'm going to make a point here. This is why, because you just threw out a crazy number, but I'm going to tell you, you could have been right, K-Jams, depending on the car. Look at Milligan. Milligan, she got her Mercedes she got $27,000 off her Mercedes. Hold on, because I want everybody to see this. I can never see. Okay. There we go. She got $27,000. It was a $79,000 Mercedes. She got $20,000 off. So if this vehicle that you bought, this Infiniti QX60, was supposed to be a huge discount, but you didn't know that and you overpaid for it, you don't get to make more money when you go to replace it. See, your used vehicle, 1, 2, 3 years old, what is really dictating the value of that vehicle more than anything? It's what the new ones are selling for. That's what's dictating your 1, 2, 3-year-old value. So but let's just use a regular number of what this $60,000 vehicle you bought would be worth in a month. Let's say they say you lose 15% the day you buy. Everyone's heard that, right? Type yes if you've heard it. They say when you get a vehicle, you lose 15%. So let's just say out of 60, you lost about 9 grand. Let's say it's worth about 51. That's 1 month later. It's on a sliding board. It doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. If it stopped there, then you might just be able to be okay, but it's going to keep losing value month in, month out, month in, month out. But eventually, if you keep the vehicle long enough, eventually you go from here to now this starts to level out. Now, what does that mean? This is why step 1 in my book is called the 8-year rule. It says you should not be buying cars if you're not keeping them 8 years. This is how long. So when you say, how long should I be keeping this vehicle? You should not be buying it. I'm going to prove it to you. You should be shopping for below market leases because you're going to spend 5, 10 grand more buying minimum. And how do you spend that? Because the vehicle you're getting, when you go to sell it or trade it, you're not going to get back what you paid. You're not going to get any of that money back. All of those thousands that you paid, you're not getting back. That's why aren't you always pissed when you find out what your car is worth? You know who's not? People who got cars on here at least 10 years. Who has a car on here that they've had at least 10 years? Type the number of years you've had the car into the chat. Who has a car in their driveway that they've had at least 10 years? Type the number of years into the chat. Type it into the chat. See if we got any long-term people on here. What's up, Jeanette? What's up, KPZ? Who has a car more than 10 years? All right, Pamela, 16 years. I see you. Carlos Brower, thanks for checking in. 3 months and I cracked. No, not Bree. I'm talking about more than 10 years. What's up, Michael Fulga? If you have a car more than 10 years, type the number of years you had it. I see you, Rose. All right, I see you, Facebook. I see you, Didi, 13 years. I see you, Kishal, 14 years, 2010 Mazda. Michael, 15 years. I see you. Anyone who has a car in your driveway, you've had it more than 10 years, type the number of years you've had it. We're making a point here. We're making a point. I see you, D. Adams, 11. Okay, more than 10. Watch this. If all of you who couldn't answer that question, you've only had your car for 3 years, 2 years, 5 years, your car is still on a depreciating sliding board. What does that mean? Your car is going to be worth, your car is still losing thousands of dollars in value every year, even just sitting there. The people who just tapped in, though, look, Michael Woods, 20 years. They've had their vehicles so long that they're not losing value anymore. They're not losing much value. They might lose a few $100s in depreciation every year. That means what? They're getting their money out of the car they bought. They're getting their money out of the car they bought. If you are simply buying vehicles and swapping them, you know who are my cash buyers at? Who pays cash? Because we're going to use all of these stories to make a point that the people who are buying their vehicles and not keeping them at least 8 years are overpaying by thousands of dollars, and we want to try to help them stop this right now. That's why in my digital book, this is rule number 1. It's called the 8-year rule. My book is 7 steps. Step 1 is we have to choose how long we're going to keep the car so that we can see how we're going to beat depreciation. So if you pay cash for cars, type $signs. If you historically have paid cash for cars, you don't finance, you don't lease, you typically pay cash, type a $sign. Here's what you got to understand. Those of you who are financing cars and swapping them, you're not seeing how much you're losing because of the monthly payment. That's why every time we shop, when you're using the strategies in my book, you're shopping with no money down. Why? Because it's easier to understand the money that you're losing when you're totally just basing it onto the entire price of the car. If somebody comes in and says, hey, I bought a car for 40, I went back a year later, they told me it was worth 30. You see how it's easy to see? You lost $10,000. But you could buy the same car for 40. I'm about to mess you up. You could buy the same car for 40, have a $700 a month payment, go swap that car out. The same car that you bought for 40, they're going to swap it out, give you 30 for it, but the new car, you have the same payment. So you went from this car and you went to this new car and you're like, wow, I'm still paying the same payment. So I guess I didn't really lose. But what they did was, instead of a 6-year loan that you were in, they stretched your loan out to 7 years or 8 years. And then they gave you the same 30. You took the same $10,000 loss that the cash buyer would have took, but you didn't see it because you're monthly payment focused. If you understand that, type of $sign, if you understand that. The monthly payment is what's destroying your ability to see, do you really have a good deal or not? You're trying to think of a payment. Do I have a payment that's good? The payment that's good has nothing to do with, did I get a great price for the car? And the name of the game is getting a great price for the car. If I go in right now to a Bentley dealer and they gave me 50% off, liquidation sale, they're going out of business. Yeah, I know I'm getting a brand new Bentley for half off. Obviously, it's an incredible deal. The payment's going to be $3,000 a month. Has nothing to do with whether it's a deal or not. You see what I'm saying? Affordability has nothing to do with if it's a deal. Affordability is personal. Can you afford that payment? That's a personal thing. The deal is, I found a dealer who took off so much money off this car, he blew everyone else away. That's a deal. Okay, so we got to separate these things. So to answer your question of how long should you keep a vehicle if you buy it, at least 8 years, because you're going to put two. Let me give you one more example to show you two people who got the same vehicle you just asked about, and they used to buy, but they don't buy, they leased it. And this is going to show you the dramatic difference between the money people who buy these cars are paying and the money who people get below market leases are paying. Ansley, he got the same vehicle. It's a 2024 Infiniti QX60 Lux, $58,000 vehicle. That's how I knew how much these vehicles cost. Look, how much should this vehicle be per month if he was buying it? All of you who know, every $5,000 is about $100 per month. So Let's round this to about 60,000 with taxes. Let's round this to, it's a $58,000 vehicle. Every $5,000 is about $100 per month. How much should this vehicle be? We got anybody good with math? $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month. Now, let's say instead of a 5-year loan, because people say, well, Deshone, you know, you go with the short loans. I'll go with a little longer. What about 6 years? Okay, 6-year loan. $1,100 a month. You can type the numbers in. I've done this thousands of times, so I know where these numbers are. 6-year loan, $60,000 vehicle, $1,100 a month. Now, let's just say, Deshone, but what about if he got a big discount? Because you're not assuming, what if I'm a good negotiator. Okay, let's say he took $10,000 off, $10,000 off. I'm going to play the game here just to show you there's no way for you to win this game. Those of you who are not leasing cars, but you're not keeping them, you are not keeping them 8 years, you're spending 5 to 10 grand more, especially for new cars, than you could be spending. It's not even a question. So now let's look and say, all right, he got 10 grand off. What would his payment be? $50,000 loan, $1,000 a month. Look what he's paying, $554. $554. Look, only paying $554 with first month down. He gave him his first month's car payment. He drove off. Call those people who told you you should never lease vehicles, and you need to tell them, hey, you owe me some money. Now, it's partially your fault because you listened to them without verifying. But the fact is, I just took a scenario where this person who asked this question has this same car. He has an Infiniti QX60 autograph. I went to a $60,000 QX60 that somebody who learns from me just leased, paying $554 a month, $60,000 car. I said if they didn't get a discount, they'd be at $1,200 a month for a 5-year loan. If they took a 6-year loan, they're at $1,100 a month. If the dealer knocked off $10,000 for them because he liked them, now they're still at $1,100. They're still at $1,000 a month for 5 years, $900 a month for 6 years. This is nowhere close. He's paying $554. And there's nothing that you can say to me that's going to make me be okay with you justifying us driving out of this dealership in the same car. Hey, man, hey, I see we got the same truck. Hey, man, how you doing? Yeah, you like it? Yeah, man, that's great. Yeah, but, man, this thing is expensive. Oh, yeah, how much you paying? Man, I paid a little, just about $1,000. I ain't putting no money down, but I got about $1,000 a month. Okay, cool. All right, what about you? How much you pay? Man, I paid $554. Oh man, you had to put a lot down. What you put, 20 grand down? No, I just my first payment, but I leased it. Oh, you leased it? Oh, see, but I buy though. I like to buy. All right. God bless you, man. Enjoy that. We're driving the same vehicle. In 3 years, I'm gonna bring this back, get a different one. In 3 years, you're gonna come in, try to trade that vehicle in, have no equity, probably break even if you're lucky. You might have negative equity if you had an accident. And you just paid $400 a month more than me for the same exact vehicle. Doesn't make financial sense. There's no way you can justify it. It's just not even close. Just the people who taught you about leasing, they owe you money. And as long as you continue to listen to them, you're going to continue to overpay for cars because you just don't know what you're doing. You don't know about deal structure and how a below market, not a regular lease, very clear. You're not going to compare regular commercial leases to what I'm talking about here. We're talking about below market leases. Below market lease deals versus below market purchase deals. It's not even a question. Not even a question. Okay, so that's what I need you to understand. If you're buying it, keep it 8 years. If you're not keeping it 8 years, you should be shopping for a below market lease. I teach all of this in my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. I show you how to connect with 25 new car dealers online in 20 minutes and get 5 offers. The strategy we use, I created, is called the 25 to 5. We do this in minutes. You use my email scripts. You don't have to talk. You want to do it your way, you can. You want to call around and get your offers, you can do that. But what you're going to see is 5 out of 5 dealers, 4 of them are always going to be overpriced. It's not even a question. You have to see. The only way you're going to prove that to yourself, see, we know that. All these people I've worked with, hundreds of people in the last, couple years, thousands online, We know you get all these offers, most of them are going to be overpriced. That's why you got to get at least 5 so that you can pick the best one. And we do this right from home. Okay, that's a big thing. 8-year rule. Go ahead. Oh, by the way, all of you who do, if you're like, hey, what is this book you're talking about? It's my new digital book. It's 5-star rated. You can get a copy of it for 75% off as part of my welcome offer. It's in the. It's normally $97. It's everything I teach step by step. You can get it in my TikTok bio, the Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. But it's only for 30 minutes. After that, the price does go back up to $97, and it's worth every penny. You can Google it. But $24 is better than $97. If I'm planning on financing, should I buy now or at the end of the month, Black Friday? My credit is in the low 800s. I've never let the time period stop us from buying because marketing is what's driving those time periods. They want you to come in at the end of the month. They want you to come in on the holidays. Think about if you owned a business where your customers were so well trained, they just came in at the end of the day faithfully. You didn't have to do anything. That's the way the car industry is. They will get people to come in thinking they're getting a better deal, but think about it. Why would they give you a better deal if there's 2 or 3 people behind you waiting to buy the same car? You don't have any leverage. See, deals come from, take it from me, I'm in the car business 14 years. I've made a lot of deals with customers and the managers didn't want to make them. The deals that are really deals, the managers don't want to make them. They're like, oh, God, can you get them $20 more per month? Something. We're like, no, listen, this is the person's best offer. All right. It's not a send your friends and we'll give them the same deal. Some customers, I had to tell them, please don't listen, I love for you to send your friends and family, but please don't tell them what you're paying because we might not be able to duplicate that. That's a deal. That's a deal. That's why everything you see on commercials will never be a deal because it's advertised to thousands of people. Nothing that's advertised to thousands of people is a deal. It's for marketing purposes. So you make deals when you're desperate, when you need the number, you need the sale. You don't make it when it's 80 people in your showroom and there's clowns and there's donuts and everybody's ringing the bell and everybody's like, hey, listen, Mr. Customer, if you don't want it, listen, all due respect, I have 2 people waiting. They've been waiting over here. We can't. Does that make you more or less likely to get a deal? That type of pressure. Is it a higher chance, more of a chance you're going to get a deal, a big discount when you have a line of people behind you waiting and you know the salesman doesn't need your sale, or are you going to get a better deal when there's no one in the showroom and they haven't sold a car in 2 days and they're behind on their numbers? It's clear. The deal comes when they're desperate. So how do we create that? We position ourselves. In my book, I teach you how to get into the market, which means you make contact with dealers and you let them know this is my as soon as date. I can buy a car as soon as today, but I don't need a car until the end of January. So once you have your as soon as and your no later than date, that creates the leverage you need to be positioned with dealers. I'm talking about for new cars and leases. Used cars, we have a different strategy. Once you're positioned, now when they need a deal, you're the one they're looking at. See, everyone that's buying today, tomorrow are desperate people with no strategy. So they're going into the dealerships with desperate energy trying to negotiate their best deal. You have to let the car dealers get those people out the way because those people are right there, the low-hanging fruit, and they're going to sell those people cars first. But then in 2-3 days, a week, they're going to look around and see they haven't sold a car today and see that they have to go, okay, man, I'm behind on our numbers. We're behind on our numbers. We don't actually hit our numbers at the end of the month, every month, like they make you think. Every single month, the last 2 days, 3 days, car dealers just want to hit their numbers. No, this is just too predictable. Think about this. That doesn't make sense. Because it's no way you just casually every single month need a couple more deals at the end. Some people hit their numbers 3 days before the month ends. Some people hit their numbers and blast through them. And some people can see we're already short. We are supposed to sell 250 new cars and we're only at 75 and it's the 10th of the month. We're behind. That's how you are tracking your numbers. You're not looking at the end of the month saying, oh, come on in. But you know that you're going to get a rush of people who've been programmed to come into the car dealerships the last week of the month thinking they're in some way getting a better deal. So what you do is you get positioned. You have those 2 dates. Every single dealer you connect with, you're letting them know the 2 dates so that when they're looking around on the 8th of the month or the 12th of the month and they need a deal, your deal is the one they call. Hey, listen, is that guy still in the market? I know we couldn't get to his number last week. Call. Hey, can you see if we can make a deal with him now? That means you're positioned. They're prepared to do something desperate. That's how we like to get positioned. I show you how to do this in my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. So you want to learn everything I teach in a step-by-step way of how we do this from home, how the people who listen to me get these, pay less than everyone, and how do we guarantee we pay less than everyone? It's because we know what you're paying. We know what these dealers are offering you. So we know we paid less because we see the entire market. So you can get a copy for 75% off. That's my welcome offer to you. It's normally $97. But if you go to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, click those links, or click the link in my YouTube or Facebook comments, you can activate your 75% off. But it's only for 30 minutes. After that, the price is $97. And it's worth every penny. You can Google it. It's a 5-star rated book. You'll see all the people who read it, reviewed it, used it, and hopefully you can come over to the new side, start car shopping the new way, and get out of this old way that you've been programmed to buy cars. I'm an old man. I wish I would have seen this 30 years ago. Listen, understand. I understand. It's just the reality of the industry. The industry hasn't changed in 30 years. That's why it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Best thing they'll hope you continue to do is just keep doing the same thing you've been doing. Don't do anything different. That's their hope. Go ahead, Dolan. Let's go. Keep typing your questions, y'all. We'll get to as many as we can. Keep typing them. Let's see how many we could get to. We'll be on for probably another 20 minutes or so. How do I find below market leases? Well, you need to find out what the market is. So if I'm looking and saying I want to get a below market lease on a Honda Accord, I need to know what is the market values? What are the market prices? You're not going to get these from websites. You're going to get these from getting offers. So when you consider that there are remember this, D, there's 3 prices that can be paid for any car. Market value, that's for negotiators. Above market values for people with no strategy, no negotiating skills and no strategy. And then below market deals is for people who make dealers bid. They get multiple offers. So why do we say that a negotiator is going to get market value deals? So let's take somebody who's one of these, like your uncle. You know, we all got the uncle. Who has the uncle? Hit the like button if you have the uncle or the family member that whenever you buy a car, hey, call him, call Uncle Joe. Doesn't have to be an uncle. It could be just somebody, it could be a woman, doesn't matter. But you got that one person that everybody calls when they need a car. These are typically the people who are going to get market value. And I'm going to tell you why. There's no guarantee that they actually, when we make the deal, they can't guarantee that they couldn't have got a better price. What is that? So let's say you call this person, they get the deal done. If I went to them and I said, hey, would you bet me $1,000 that I couldn't have got a better deal than one you got? They're going to say, no, I wouldn't want to take that bet. So why wouldn't they? This is the negotiator of the family. Why wouldn't they want to take the bet? Because they don't have the confidence of knowing that they actually got a below market price. Below market price comes from looking at other offers. How do you know when you bought your 75-inch TV that you got a good price on it? Well, you saw other 75-inch TVs, right? Type right if this is starting to click. You saw other 75-inch TVs. You get what I'm saying? If you were buying a spaghetti sauce, how do you know when you went into the supermarket, you saw it for $2.99? How did you know that's the best price? Well, because the other supermarket had it for $4.99, or it's normally $5.99. Now it's on sale. You have to know what you're comparing it to understand if you're getting a deal. And that's why going into dealers and negotiating, you have nothing to compare it to. You're comparing it to what one deal, and here's what you got to understand. ShopRite, Pathmark, Stop and Shop, all have different prices for the exact same item. That's exactly how dealerships are. Thanks, Ruben. Shout out to the sharers. I see you shared the broadcast. Thank you. When you see that all of these dealers, Nissan dealers, have different prices. Deshone, I want to get a Nissan Sentra. Okay, every dealership sells the Nissan Sentra at a different price. Every dealer sells their Honda Civic at a different price. Some dealers are not going to discount. Some dealers are going to charge you more than list price. Some dealers are going to take off $2,000, never tell you about the rebate that they had. Some dealers are going to take off the rebate and the $2,000. This is how it is. So when you say, how do I find a below market lease? You find it by getting multiple offers from unrelated dealers. We have a strategy we call the 25 to 5 because our goal is to get 5 offers. We're going to get 5 offers before we make a decision on a new car, a used car, or a lease. We're going to see 5 options. So now, once we see those options, you're going to see that there's going to be a major difference between your best offer and your lowest offer. And your highest offer. Look at Teddy. Teddy got his BMW, $73,000 BMW. His best offer came back at $856 a month. His highest offer came back at $1123 a month. Same vehicle. His local dealer, his closest dealer, was charging him $986 a month. He's paying $856. So he's able to guarantee he got the below market deal because he sees the other offers. When I said he sees what you're paying, when I say people who don't use our system, we know we're paying less than you because we see what you're paying. We see the monthly payments the dealers that you're buying from are offering us that we're not taking. So that's how you get a below market deal. You must look at the market. And we have, frankly, the best system for doing that. That's what we're known for, is create everything we do as a bid. When we don't trade our cars in, we get online bids. We don't get a lease from our credit union. A loan from our credit union. We get bids from multiple credit unions and multiple banks. We don't buy a car and go and negotiate. We get bids from multiple dealers who have the same car, and then we pick the best option. This is Cars from Home, okay? And the name of my digital book is Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's the entire blueprint on step-by-step below market deals, step-by-step below market lease deals, finance deals, high mileage driving strategies. Everything is in there in a step-by-step way. So you can get a copy of it for 75% off for the next 30 minutes. Just head to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. It's normally $97. But as long as you get there before the 30-minute timer hits 0, you got a copy for $24. And it'll be in your inbox in literally minutes. After you get it, make sure you screenshot, save the thank you page, because the book is on there. I also email you a copy. But sometimes you type your email wrong, and we're not able to send the book. So you'll have my support team's email. If that book is not in your inbox in 5-10 minutes, send an email to my support team so that we can get you your book. All right. But that's the playbook. You got to see multiple offers, or there's no way for you to know that you got a below market deal. All right. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Great question, D. What's up, Moni? Does your advertisement regarding EVs also apply to hybrid vehicles, as I'm considering one for purchase? I would say anything that's going to affect in being that electric vehicle market, I would be very hesitant on buying right now. You just don't know where the market's going to be in 6 months. They might end up having to give so many rebates on those vehicles. It makes more sense for you to wait, even if you just see where it goes. If a market is tumbling, you don't want to buy while the market's tumbling. You don't. You want to try to see a bottom, because if you buy and you're still sick, somebody came on after I made that video about selling your electric cars. Somebody came on the video, I pinned it, and they said, I sold my car a month ago. I ran the numbers again today to see what it's worth. I would have lost another $5,000 if I waited. lost $5,000 in a month. That is how volatile the electric car market is right now. And I would say hybrids could be attached to it because we just don't know what the future is going to be. So if they're going to kind of, if put it like this, we saw a world moving towards electric, and that's why everyone was invested in that world, because we saw gas eventually going away, with half of the new vehicles sold being electric. Obviously, gas is always going to be there because there's going to be used cars. But what I mean is, when the future is electric, then the value is in electric. But if the future is, well, if you want an electric vehicle, you could get one, but we're not necessarily like forcing you to get one. And we're going to make sure you don't need to get one if you don't want to get one. Like, that affects the market prices. That's a very different conversation and tone than electric is the future. So I would hold off. And again, lease these vehicles. I would be leasing these vehicles all day, because the amount, when you start getting multiple offers, if you're using our system, even if you're using your system, you want to do it your way, and you want to call around and get prices from multiple dealerships. Once you see that you're saving 15, 20, 25, 30 grand on some of these electric vehicles, you're going to see that the lease options on them to drive these cars are so incredible. Like, you can literally drive cars for cents on the dollar. If you get below market leases, you're driving for cents on the dollar anyway, but it's just, you know, it's dramatic what you can drive some of these vehicles for. So that's just my advice. I can't recommend anybody buy an electric vehicle or a hybrid. I just can't do it in good faith right now. Great question, though. And I'm glad you're considering it. I'm glad you're even considering, because a lot of people are just not considering how legislation affects the electric car market, how it built the electric car market, and how it's affecting it now. Go ahead, Dolan. All right, keep typing your questions. What's up, Didi? Good to see you. Ruben Moreno, thanks for sharing. Jesse Payne, I see you. We'll get to your question. Let's see if we get to Jesse's question on TikTok, too. We got a couple more questions that I see we haven't gotten to yet. I told y'all, the earlier you get your questions in, the easier it is for you to get the questions answered. So start typing them in so we can get them before, you know, and it makes it easier for us to get to it. How much room for negotiation is there on the dealership lease specials? You're not going to know unless you're getting multiple offers. See, this is what I call feeling for the bottom. It's a losing strategy, because if we all knew that every vehicle has a $5,000 discount, that's how you negotiate, then that would be easy, right? It would be easy to feel for the bottom. You don't know. It's a mirage, because you can literally get $5,000 off, but you were supposed to get $8,000 off if you have really got the below market deal. So let's go to something that's really scary. Okay, let's look at Kimberly's deal. Because most people, if they were going to get a Maserati like she got, they would be looking for a reasonable discount. But if they're again, it's three types of people: people who make people bid with, that below market people, stuff we use, we get bids. Then you got negotiators, and then you got people that don't negotiate at all, or they just not good at it. So those are your three prices: below market value, above market value. Now look at this vehicle. Somebody who walks in, all their life they've been waiting for their Maserati, or they just been programmed to just go in, don't ask for much discount. You know, it's a Maserati. They sell for what they sell for. The asking price is the price. You know, the manufacturer's suggested price is the price. They're going to buy this vehicle for $86,000. That's what they're going to do. Because there's enough ways for us to, now you might not be the person because you're a negotiator. Deshone, I'd never buy it for list price. Okay, I'm not talking to you. There's a lot of people who actually will buy this vehicle for what they've asked, what it says on the window sticker. Now you might go in and you say, all right, well, I'm negotiating. I feel like this vehicle is $86,000. Give me the 75. We got a deal. So you go in, you throw a number out, feeling for the bottom, hoping that you're doing the right thing. Man, I think 7, you're going with your gut. Your gut is going to destroy you when it comes to buying cars. Oh man, all right, because the person goes back after a little fight, because no matter how much we can give you, we're not going to make it look like it's easy to give you. So we got to go back and we got to fight for every dollar. But you end up saying, we end up saying, hey, you won. We got it for 75. You got almost $10,000 off. Now you're bragging around, hey, yeah, I got almost $10,000 off my Maserati. You know, look, somebody just asked, do Lexus ever discount their cars? This is stuff that people who don't negotiate and don't know how to get bids ask. D-Clinic, it's not nothing against you. I'm just saying you're making the point, because we do have negotiators on here that I just said, you know, will go in and buy a Maserati for what they asked. Hey, this is asking price. And if you have in your mind, are we supposed to negotiate? All somebody has to do is say to you, no, we don't negotiate. And you think, no, Maserati doesn't. Now they're speaking for everybody. Maserati doesn't negotiate. Maserati puts a price on the window sticker. That's what people pay. And that's going to convince you, because you're already coming in with seeds of doubt on whether you should be even asking for any money off. So now you're paying $86,000. That's what you're paying. Now, somebody who's a negotiator on here will come in and be like, okay, yeah, I got the 75, and going bragging around, telling, hey, yeah, I got the Maserati, man. They took off almost 10,000 from me. Now, meanwhile, Kimberly sits at home. She never leaves her house. She uses the strategies in my book, the email script. She's talking to 25 dealers by email. She saves $21,000 almost without ever leaving her house, and she did it in 15, 20 minutes. She knows now how many offers did she have that was higher than the 21,000. Lots of them. She saw the dealer that was giving 75, giving you $9,000 off. She sees that dealer, okay, they're not the best offer. She sees a dealer over here says, hey, I'll give you $5,000 off. She sees a dealer that says, hey, we don't discount. She sees a dealer that says, all right, we'll give you $15,000 off. But you know, similar to how I answered the last question, that you got the below market deal when you have other offers you're reviewing. That is what's destroying. That's the reason for your buyer's remorse. That's the reason. And hit the like button if you understand, if this is clicking. Double tap if you know how we send likes on TikTok. If it's clicking, double tap, because this has to click. Some of these mindsets, that's why y'all know I represent unlearn, relearn. Because until you unlearn what you've been programmed to do, you can't learn what we're teaching here. You have too many ideas. You got to drop those ideas, unlearn the stuff that's garbage that really you never even studied it, something that was passed on to you, and you just picked it up. So this is the reason why you actually need to get multiple offers, because if you don't, now you're just feeling for the bottom. And if you feel for the bottom and you get 7,000 off, but the real bottom was 20,000 off, you lost. And people will say, well, I'd rather not know. I'd rather know. See, those are the people. If you're like, well, listen, if I don't know, what I don't know can't hurt me. That's not true. You don't know that this car you got, you should have had $15,000 more discount. That actually does hurt you, unless you're Bill Gates. That hurts you. You don't know it, and it hurts you. $15,000 plus interest and taxes could have been in your bank account, but you gave it to the car because you didn't know that you should be shopping multiple offers. And we have the best system for doing that. So those of you who like to share, listen, why is the book called Cars from Home? 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's a digital book, so you'll have it in your inbox in 3 minutes. Why is it called Cars from Home? 90% of what we do is right in our living room. Why is the subtitle 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships? Because we're only at a dealership for a couple reasons. To test drive, and that's it. To pick up our car, and that's it. To have our used car appraised, that's it. What about to buy the car? We're never at the dealership to buy the car. We're never at the dealership negotiating. All of your leverage, all of our power is at home. We can't talk to multiple dealers and see other dealers' inventories while we're in the dealership. We do that at home. So the money is all at home, and we're only in the dealerships literally for 20, 30 minutes. If you have spent more than that in the dealership, you're not listening to me. I see people be like, Deshone, I was in the dealership yesterday, man. I made a great deal. I was using your stuff, man. I was trying to remember everything you taught. You was there for a couple of hours. You ain't use what I teach. You didn't use my stuff. Now, when people say, Deshone, I used your stuff, man. I was in the dealership. It only took me 20 minutes to pick up the car. There we go. I know you're using our stuff. When you say, Deshone, man, you should see this dealer. I had to go an hour away to pick up the car because this dealer an hour away beat everybody. There you go. Now you're using our stuff. Now you're using our stuff. See, those local dealers, they feel like they own you because they know. Type in, if you go to Google, type in how many dealers average person visits before they make a deal. We know the statistics. It's two and change, 2.5 on average. People are going to only deal with 2.5 dealers before they make a deal. That's why the local dealers are not really giving you the money off. You saw Teddy. Those of you who are on here, we showed Teddy like 10 minutes ago. He said he's paying $856 for his BMW. The highest dealer offered him $1,100, and the dealer that's closest to him offered him $986. That's the dealership right next to him that he drive by, probably went test drove the car there and said, man, one day I'm gonna buy a BMW from them. No, not when they're charging you $120 more because you're closer. Those local dealers know you don't shop. That's why they kill their own people. They're like, yo, we know that most people are not going to drive outside of 20, 30 minutes, which is why we sit at home. We use this beautiful tool that was invented called a computer, and we're able to actually talk to multiple dealers and save more money in 20, 30 minutes than people are saving in 4 hours negotiating. It's a beautiful world. Come over to our world if you're ready to be done with the old. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Don't feel for the bottom now. Thank you, Karita's face painting. I see you. Shout out to the people sharing the broadcast and shout out to the people hitting the like button. I see we got 2 likes. Okay, on Facebook. Where my people at that like? I see. Listen, I need the sharers and the people who take action to take action. Tag one of your friends because I'm telling you this, you're going to destroy your friendship. If you let your friend go out here and buy a car and they don't know that you've been sitting on this live learning everything you need to know to save all the money you need to save, getting all the tools you need to get, and then your friend tells you 2 months ago, they come and say, man, I needed to see this 2 months ago. Yeah, I've been following Deshone for a little while. Well, why didn't you tell me about it? That's the way friendships end. Once people see this, man, I bought this car. I wish I would have known. I would have left. Man, I went in and I only got one offer, man. I thought they was overcharging me. Why you didn't tell me about this guy, Deshone? Listen, that's your friendship on the line. Money. So what you're saying is you won't know the bottom until you really dig in, like in your book. No, you won't know the bottom until you get multiple offers. That's it. That's how you know the bottom. We get at least 5 offers. That's why a strategy I created is called the 25 to 5. We're connecting with 25 dealers online. It's going to take us about 20 minutes. This is for new cars and leases. With used cars, we use a different strategy because we use the marketplaces. But with new cars and leases, we use the 25 to 5. We're going to connect with 25 dealers to get 5 offers. And another great thing about connecting with 25 dealers is most dealers, when you walk into two dealers, what are the chances they're going to have what you want? Who's been at a dealer and they said, we don't have that color or we don't have that trim level? Who's been at a dealer, your closest dealer, and you're like, hey, I'm looking for this. And they said, well, we don't have one of those. We can locate it. They say, hey, we could get it from our competitor's inventory. So that's all we're doing. When you sit at home, you're talking to the competitors. That's when you're dangerous. Thanks, Junebug. Shout out to the sharers. When you're talking to their competitors, that's when you are dangerous. Because not only are you when I'm shopping for a vehicle and I'm shopping offers right now for a vehicle, when a dealer says to me, we can locate this vehicle, we don't have one, I am not going to answer that because I know I'm already talking to the people that you see has the vehicle. I'm already communicating with them by email, so they're not going to give it to you. But when you go in and you let a dealer order locate a car for you, you're not getting the best price that you could have gotten because there's fees that you pay for that. It might be $100, $200. Very rarely can a dealer give you the best deal on the market, the biggest discount, and go and get the vehicle for you and pay the transport. So when we're connecting with 25 dealers online, we're actually cutting through all the garbage. And out of that 25 dealers, most likely 10 are going to have a vehicle that matches. So we don't have to hear, oh, I don't have it, I don't have it, I don't have it. It's just numbers. It's easy, it's fun, it empowers you, and that's how you know the bottom. You know the bottom by getting multiple offers. Within 100 miles, I know all the offers on this Infiniti truck. Within 100 miles, I know all the offers on this Range Rover. I know who has one. I know what they're going to offer me for. In my book, I have a calculator that you put all the offers in that we created, and it spits out the counter offers that you should send them. I've done all of that, and I know I got the bottom price because I know the market. You can't pay paying below market price is reserved for people who know the market. And I teach you in minutes how to know the used car market, how to know the market on this new car, on this lease. It's a beautiful, it's called empowerment. So those of you who are like, listen, I'm done with this old way, Deshone. What is this book? This is my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get a copy for 75% off. It's my welcome offer to you, but it's only for 30 minutes. Once that 30 minutes is up, the price is $97, and it's worth every penny. So if you want the 30-minute special, 75% off, go to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. Click those links and grab your book for 75% off. Now, as soon as you pay, screenshot the thank you page, because that's going to have my support team's email. Some of you typing fast. You're like, Deshone, I only got 2 minutes left. You type your email wrong, and then we can't email your book to an incorrect email. So make sure you have my support team's email just in case your book isn't there in the next 5-10 minutes. Okay, go ahead, Dolan. If you're buying for a rental company, that's something that hang on. Divine One, could you turn it back in the wait, hold on, Divine One. Could you turn it back in if you reach the miles before it's time for you to turn it back in? No, because you have payments that are due. So let's say you reach your miles, but you have 3 payments left. If you turn that lease in, those 3 payments are due. They get billed to you. So this is why when they call you and they say we can get you out of your lease early, come on in, 99.9% of the time they're lying. Now, it's not a full lie because they can get you out of your lease early, but all you're doing is transferring that old baggage to your next lease. So what you want to do is you want to see, this is the same thing with negative equity. So what you want to see is, can you sell the vehicle? First thing you want to do is decide, are you leasing again? So are you keeping your next car for more than 8 years? If you are, then buy it. If you're not, then you should be shopping for another lease. Now, here's the problem. Sometimes people who incorrectly structure their leases, when it don't get the mileage they need, they're like, well, I'm just going to buy something because I don't like the lease because I went over miles. You don't blame the lease for something that you and the salesman should have done. I would never take a 12,000 mile a year lease knowing I needed 15,000 and then blame the lease when I got mileage penalties. The solution is get the mileage that you need. Here's an example. Look at Jen's deal. Jen leased a CRV hybrid, Honda CRV hybrid, about a $40,000 vehicle, 39,000 and change. So when she got a 512 payment, her best offer from home, 512, no money down. Now, we always shop our lease offers with 12,000 miles per year. 12,000 miles per year, first month's payment only, due at signing. We put the taxes and fees into the payment when we get our offers. Now, once she makes her deal at 512 a month, that's a 1.3% lease deal. Some of you know the 1% rule, which is if you get a lease under 1%, that means you stole the car. Between 1% and 1.5% is a deal. So she gets a 1.3% lease deal. Now she adjusts the mileage from 12,000 per year to 18,000 per year. So instead of 512 a month, her final deal is 563 a month, and she gets to drive 18,000 miles per year. She gets the mileage that she needs, and she's still paying thousands less than had she purchased the vehicle. And she doesn't have to worry about depreciation and negative equity. So that's how you get the mileage you need. You $50 more, and she gets to drive what she wants. If she had not taken that extra, let's say 7,000 miles, from 12 to 18, that's 6,000 a year. That's 18,000 miles. So 18,000 miles, had she not bought her mileage, 18,000 times 25 cents, she would have paid 4,500. She would have paid 4,500 plus tax on the penalties. So now for $50 more for 36 months, she pays 1,800. This is why you get your mileage before you sign the contract. When you take the penalty, you're paying 2 to 3 times more than you could have paid if you had built the mileage in early. That's the name of the game. So what you should do is see if you could sell the lease. After you decide if you're leasing again, see if you could sell the lease, do an equity assessment, call your leasing company, find out what your payoff is, and then you're going to go and get your 6 offers from the sites that we teach to get offers from: CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, AutoNation, Car Gurus, and KBB, Instant Cash Offer. 6 cash offers in 20 minutes, and you'll know if you can break even selling it, get out of it, and you can sell it. If you want to detail, some of you like, Deshone, what are you talking about? You could sell a lease. You really need to tap into what if you don't know you can sell a lease, you certainly don't know how to do it. And you don't know how to assess if you have equity and if you should do it. But these are the things when it comes to this advanced purchasing. I've been in the car business since 2006. Everyone who knows me in New Jersey understands who I am. And before I came to the internet, if people called me for a deal, they knew what they were getting. People knew, call Deshone, because I am committed to the real aspects of getting below market deals, and I have been for a very long time, even before I came to the internet. So in my digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships, you'll have everything I teach in a step-by-step way that you can reference over and over again for leases, for purchases, for new cars, used cars, all below market deals. Because again, the way we teach, we're getting you to see the market, getting bids, seeing multiple options so that you know you got the lowest price. You have to see the market first, know how to get to the market price before you know you pay below market value. And that's everything we teach. That's for loans, that's for leases, that's for selling cars. We don't trade. So everything is in my book in a step-by-step way. And it's normally $97. You can get a copy for $24, but only for 30 minutes. That's my welcome offer. You can go to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments to activate your 75% off link. You'll get the book for $24 as long as you get there before 30 minutes. But after you get it, save the thank you page, because that's my support team's email. Just in case you type your email in incorrectly, if you don't see that book in 5-10 minutes, send our team an email. We'll make sure we get it out to you. So also, as soon as you pay, the book is right there on the thank you page. It says click below to open your book. So you could open it right then and there, save it to your phone, save it to your computer. But use this. Make sure you send me your deals. Every time you get a car, send them into the show so we can actually bring them into the show. You become a part of the constant testimonials that we talk about. And thank you to everyone who's taken the time to review the book on goodreads.com. We wouldn't be able to be there without you guys. So thank you. Go get your book, and I'll see you on the next stream. Keep unlearning so that you can relearn. God bless you. All right. Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. I'm your host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. Feel free to type in your car shopping questions. I want to make sure you have what you need to pay less than everyone else in this market, any market. It doesn't matter. We're live on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you to those who share the show. Thank you for those who tag somebody, everyone who's spreading this message. Thank you to those who are double tapping the screen and hitting the like button. We appreciate you. We have a lot of questions coming in, so we're going to get them started. This whole broadcast will be sponsored by my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealers. You can actually get a copy of it for 75% off. It's normally $97. That's going to be the total do-it-yourself blueprint to get in below market deals. It's 5-star rated. And I want to make sure as part of my welcome offer, you can get a copy for 75% off. It's in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments. So go get your copy. It's for the next 30 minutes. That's my welcome offer to you. And let's get the show started. I think somebody was asking about a Duramax diesel. So not a drama truck. But if the first thing you want to decide is should you be buying or leasing it? It's impossible to get a good deal if you were supposed to lease. Now, who was taught never to lease? Be honest. Type me if you were taught never to lease. A big thing that we do here is we tear down that terrible, terrible financial advice. It is some of the worst advice that you could have received is to never buy a vehicle. To never lease a vehicle. So let's keep the question up about the Duramax, Dolan, because that's the one we're answering right now. He had typed in the comments he didn't mean drama truck, he meant Duramax. So we can save this question for next. Everybody keep typing your questions and we'll keep getting to them. But right now, that's the first step. Whenever you are about to get a car, the first thing you want to do is decide, am I buying or leasing it? And I give you an easy way to know that. Are you keeping it 8 years or not? It's very simple. The question of buying or leasing is about depreciation. If you buy a vehicle, you're going to lose in depreciation. I don't care how good of a deal you get on it, because in the short term, depreciation is going. And I'm fortunately, thank you, Quinn. I'm about to be a victim of my own bad. Look, I'm about to be a victim of my own advice, like not taking my own advice. What does that mean? I bought a pre-owned Infiniti truck after years of leasing. And I got into the habit of leasing after 20, let's see, from 2000. We would lease my wife a vehicle. So we started really 2012 with our Infiniti G25 lease. We got that. It was like $325 a month. And then a brand new vehicle, because most leases, if not all leases, are brand new vehicles. So I'm paying $325 a month for a new Infiniti. Then we got the Infiniti Q50, 2014. So then I'm paying like $345 for a $44,000 car, brand new. Then I had three Q50s in a row, 345, 365, and I think the highest one went up to like I think 365 was the highest, because when I extended my lease, I had to pay the taxes. It went to 390. It might have been 390. The point is never over $400 a month. So then I asked my wife, I said, are you going to keep this vehicle? Because if you're going to keep it for more than 8 years, we could really just buy a vehicle. We don't have to keep leasing unless you want. And she said, look, I'll keep a vehicle. So I get a phenomenal deal on my Infiniti truck, 2020. It was 3 years old. I got it. It was a $54,000 truck. I got it for $31,000, 26,000 miles on it. Great, great vehicle. I documented the deal. So I posted the deal on my social media. I got 42% off the original MSRP. That's something I call the true value discount. You got to know when you're buying a used car, what are you paying for it relative to the original MSRP. So I get this whole phenomenal deal, right? And I'm going to show you how I'm about to lose because I'm not going to keep it 8 years. I thought I was. I thought my wife is fine keeping it 8 years. I'm not. So when you see how much, I already ran my numbers. I already ran how much the truck is worth. I did my equity assessment, which is step 2. And when I look at what I paid over the last 2 years, plus I gave $5,000 down, which is no problem, because if you're buying a vehicle and you're going to keep it, it doesn't matter how much you get down. You can pay it off quicker. But the goal is to keep it, because if you don't keep it, when I just ran my numbers, it's a loss compared to if I just leased the vehicle back then. Because the new Infiniti I'm about to get is literally the new version of this truck is literally is the same price. It's actually a little less per month than I paid for this used truck. And I'm gonna break this down thoroughly. It is a loss. Buying these vehicles, I got a great deal on that Infiniti truck. Great deal. It's a loss because I'm not keeping it. So the depreciation killed the deal. I could have been driving a brand new 2022 Infiniti truck at that time, paying $500 a month or less, literally driving a brand new truck. But instead, I bought a pre-owned one with the goal to keep it, didn't keep it, and now I'm going to end up paying more. When I sell that, I would have lost more than just me driving a brand new truck. And I know this because I have literally leased for the last 15 years. So that's how much the 8-year rule matters. You have to ask yourself, how many years am I keeping the vehicle? If you're not keeping it 8 years, you should not be buying it. It does not matter what type of deal you get. Now, you do need to get a below market lease deal, which is what we talk about here. That's what we do. You can't just go in and pay any lease, sign any lease. You guys can hear that the prices for the leases that I was talking about were not normal prices you see on commercials. So that's not what we're comparing it to. You got to get below market leases, and we get them. That's all we get. But yeah, that's the first thing you want to ask yourself. How many years am I keeping the vehicle? Let's see. I see we got a lot of comments coming in. You're actually in a lease now. Leasing is going to be the best thing for most people. I could already tell. Unless you're keeping a vehicle, not everyone is really into the discipline of keeping a vehicle for more than 8 years. There's a lot of you that are, and you are the ones who should be buying. The rest of the people, you're just losing thousands. And again, once I sell this truck and show you the numbers, you're going to see how much I paid to drive a used vehicle when I could have just been staying with my leases the same way I was since 2012, driving brand new vehicle. I changed the tires, had to change the tires on this vehicle. I put brand new tires on it. That's all stuff I never would have had to do with leases. So I really spent more, even more than I would have had to drive but again, that's the best example of the 8-year rule. Even the person who created it is you break it, you lose. Go ahead, Dolan. Let's get to a lot more questions. I want to purchase a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee L, and I want to pay cash. How do I go about it? You need to get multiple offers. You want to do it your way? You can call around. You need to get at least 5 offers, because the prices for Jeeps, the prices for any vehicle is going to be major differences from dealer to dealer. This is Raphael. She got a Jeep Grand Cherokee. No money down. She's paying $549 a month. There are people who are paying $700 for this exact same truck that she has. Zafrina got a Jeep. She leased it. She leased it for $579 a month, $65,000 Jeep. There's people, this is a $65,000 Jeep, so there's probably people paying $1,100 a month for the same Jeep. That's how different the prices are. It's not a matter of, I always say it's like spaghetti sauce in the grocery store. When you walk into one grocery store, you'll see Prego $6.99. Then you go into another store, you'll see Prego $4.99. You go into another store, you see Prego on sale for $2.99. It's the exact same product. There's nothing different. Exact same product. It's just where you're buying it from has a special offer or a different offer. That's how Nissan dealers are. That's how Jeep dealers are. One Jeep dealer is not going to discount. One Jeep dealer is going to take off $2,000 if you negotiate. One Jeep dealer is going to take off $3,000 and give you the rebates that you didn't know were there. You're going to save like $7,000 off or $10,000 off. It's that different. So the best thing you could do is to first decide if you're keeping the vehicle 8 years, because if you're not and you buy it, you're going to get killed. You're going to waste a ton of money buying a brand new Jeep because it's going to depreciate so fast. You're going to lose 20% the first year. So if you're not keeping this vehicle 8 years, the absolute worst thing you could do is to purchase it. And then once you decide whether you should be purchasing or leasing, it's a matter of getting 5 offers to make sure you get the below market offers. We do all of this online by email. Takes us literally minutes. That's what's in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. I show you how to connect with 25 dealers online in 20 minutes. I have email scripts that we use to copy and paste and get offers. That the name of the game is getting 5 offers. So in my book, the strategy is called the 25 to 5. We connect with 25 dealers to get 5 offers. And then we pick the best one. That's the below market offer. So you must shop multiple offers or you're going to overpay. You can get your copy of my new digital book for 75% off. It's normally $97, but it's part of my welcome offer in my bio, my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, or the YouTube or Facebook comments. For 30 minutes only, you get your copy for 75% off, which is $24, and it'll be in your inbox in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You'll be able to have these steps for the rest of your life. It's like what 50 said about bottled water. Yeah. It just depends on where you're buying from. The same product, when you go to a hotel, the same bottled water that's $1 in the supermarket is $3. You go to a hotel in Dubai, the same bottled water that's $2 in the supermarket is $11 or $14. It just depends on where you're buying from. That's the way it is with cars. And once you grasp that, once you get that, you're off to the races. You'll understand why people like us, like Zafrina, like Pierre, like Teddy with his BMW, got a ridiculous amount of money off of it. Danielle with her Audi lease, Bonita, even during the pandemic when people were paying $800-900 a month to lease Kia Telluride, she got hers for $600. It's just bidding. When you step out of negotiations and get people bidding, your experience is going to get easier. You're going to save more money without even trying. It's just an easy way to do business. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot up the next question. Let's go. Keep typing. Where should I start in the process to buy a car? People skip the leasing versus buying step. Again, I can't stress it that I could show you all day long how to get below market car deals, leases, purchases, new cars, used cars. That is easy. That is easy. You do it right from home. That is the easiest part of what we do. The leasing versus buying, because they programmed you to not like leasing, and you've gotten so many negative you've gotten people who've programmed you. They've never spoken about numbers. They never talk about they never talk about the numbers. They talk about things that everything but the numbers. Leasing is like renting. You have to drive. They pick your mileage. That's wrong. You pick your mileage on a lease. And frankly, depreciation is the unseen expense that these people don't even know that it's killing them. Because the short term, think about all these electric cars. I've been on a mission to try to get people to sell their electric cars. Lease them all day. If you are getting multiple offers, lease these electric cars all day. But if you own them, they are depreciating at a dramatic rate, way more than any other cars. Because the new car market is soft. What does that mean? The new car market is soft. That means they have to give these cars away to sell them. Look at Milligan. If you zoom in on her deal, Milligan got a Mercedes EQE Valentine. I never leased in my life. You're going to learn today. You're going to learn today. Milligan saved $27,000 off of her brand new Mercedes EQE. If you zoom in on that, you'll see. So when you're able to save, now obviously everyone's not saving that money. She got multiple offers. She used our system for getting offers from multiple dealers, and her best offer was $27,000 off. So if you can get $27,000 off a brand new one, how does that affect the pre-owned market? How does that affect the one-year-old one? How does that affect the people who bought brand new, paid list price, or they paid almost list price, and now 2-3 years later, they're trying to sell them? They're worth half. They're not even worth, they're worth less than half of what the new car costs. And now this is the dangerous part about buying these vehicles, because when the depreciation hits, if you happen to have a vehicle that depreciates worse than any other car, you can't help that. You have to wear that. There's no way for you to avoid it. Now, had you leased it, you would have avoided it. Had you got a below market lease, you would have avoided it. And also, if you had a plan to keep the vehicle for at least 8 years, not break the 8-year rule. That's why when you ask, where should I start in the process? Guys, the process always starts with the 8-year rule. It always starts with the 8-year rule. There's nothing else. I don't care if you're coming to talk to me about anything else than how long you're keeping the car. You've missed it. If you're how to get a great deal on a depreciating asset, and you're not considering how long you're going to own it, you are missing it. You're missing the basis and the most basic step to finance. To investing in something. If you were going to buy a stock and they said, listen, I got some bad news for you. This stock is going to go down in value for the first 5 to 6, 7 years. It's going to go down. And if you decided you were still going to buy that stock, the only question we would need to know is, how long are you going to keep it? Does that make sense? A financial advisor who's going to tell you, hey, everybody who buys this stock, it goes down for the first 7, 8 years. But then it starts to coast, and then you'll be okay. Wouldn't how long I'm going to keep it be important? That's the most important. If you say, hey, I'm going to keep this thing 3 years, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. It's impossible not to lose. So that's why we only look at how we're going to beat depreciation as our first step. You buying a car, your first question is, how long am I keeping this thing? 8 years? Then I'm going to buy it. If it's not 8 years, I'm not tying up my money in it, because I'm not going to get that money back. That $5,000 I put down on my used Infiniti, I'm not getting that money back. When I sell it, it's a break even, and I literally paid X amount per month, $500 a month, and then my $5,000 down payment, though, I'm not getting that back when I sell this thing in 2 years. So that means I could have leased something, had the same payment, had the $5,000 in my bank account, and literally drove a better car. That's just it's not even close. Anyone who's listening, if you really open your eyes and open your ears, leasing versus buying in the short term is not even close. It's not even close. What you get to drive for the money that comes out of your household is not even close. Go ahead, Dolan. Tremendous C. What if you have a car you're paying for and want to lease something new and keep the old one too? Well, depends. If you have the income to support 2 car loans, then you probably can get approved. They're going to want to see that once you actually do the second credit application. They're going to look at what those payments are going to be and how much you make. And if you could afford it and you have the credit to support it, you will most likely get approved for both. But you need to have the income to support it. Okay. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I just tell people, make sure you're using both cars. A lot of times we have cars sitting. Some people will say, okay, I want a new car, I'm going to lease it. And then they want to keep the old car. And I'm like, why are you keeping it? And they're like, well, it's no, is anyone going to be using it? They're like, no, not really. And I'm like, okay, well, now you just have something on your insurance. And really, there's no benefit there. You could sell it and you could pick up a couple $1,000s. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with having both though, if you can qualify for both. What's up, Victor McLeod? Good to see you. D checking in on TikTok. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next question up. If we could get people to understand leasing versus buying, like we're gonna make people very rich. Like, and what I mean is, give you an example. Let me tell you how just understanding that will change your household. I have a friend that I met, a neighbor. He lives around me. I met him about a little over a year ago. Now he found out what I did. He found out, he found me online and he said, "Hey, I noticed." He had a Kia Telluride. He totaled it. His wife was in an accident, totaled the vehicle. Now he said, "Deshone, I see the stuff you teach, and we had this Kia Telluride. I'm not going to keep it 8 years." He said, I'm a shop for a lease. Now, he uses the strategy. He gets multiple offers. Got to get offers from several Kia dealerships. He does it at home, uses my system. You could do it your way. You want to call around. But if you don't want to talk, you can use my way. His best deal on his Kia Telluride is $479 a month. No money down. He got a 2024 Kia Telluride. He was paying, now some of you know if you've been on our streams before, the Kia Telluride is about a $44,000 vehicle. Let's just say 45 with taxes. Let's just round it off. How much is every $5,000 on a monthly payment? If you're new here, type the number 1. This might be your first time here. You wouldn't know the answer to this. But we may have some people who check in with us on a regular basis and they may know the answer. What's up, Kevin? Welcome. How much is every $5,000 on a car loan? Because I want to show you how much he was paying for his old Kia Telluride. Yes, good job. Soldier Dan, $100 for Countess, $100. Yes, Valentin, $100. Great job. So that's the rule of thumb you need to think of when you look at cars and you're going to purchase them and you're going to get a loan. You should be thinking at most a 5-year loan to start. You don't want to automatically assume a 6-year loan. You want to look at 5 years. 5 years, every $5,000 is about $100 per month. So you look and you say, okay, $100 per month, that's $10,000. That's a $200 a month payment. For $20,000, that's a $400 a month payment. In the case of him, he had a $45,000 Kia Telluride. That's a $900 a month payment for 5 years. Now, $900 a month for 5 years. Think about this. He went and he leased the same vehicle, in fact, a newer one, after his wife totaled it. And his best deal is $479. He brings a new version of the same vehicle that's been in his household, taking $800 plus per month out of his household. $800 plus per month. Think about that. He looks outside of his door and he sees the same vehicle he's had, but it's now $479 a month instead of $800 plus a month. Do you think he's ever going to be confused about leasing versus buying again? That's the thing. When you drive down the road and you meet someone who listens to us, they're in the same vehicle as you. They're driving better vehicles than you. They're paying less than you because they've learned 2 things. How to determine when they should lease and when they should buy, the 8-year rule, and they've learned how to get bids. How to sit at home and get bids instead of going in and trying to negotiate. It's a major difference. So go ahead, Dolan. All you do is pick the correct mileage, Showtime. That's it. Somebody said, he said, what do you do if you go way over mileage on your lease? You pick the correct mileage. See, you pay for usage. So if you bought your vehicle and you put a lot of miles on it, let's just say your vehicle today is worth $20,000. You could sell it today for $20,000. You go and you put 20,000 miles on it, that's going to make your vehicle worth a lot less because you're depreciating it much higher than the average person, much higher. So now, if you lease a vehicle and you tell the bank, I'm only going to drive 12,000 miles per year, and you make a deal with them to drive 12,000 miles per year, but you go and you drive 15,000 miles per year, then you're going to pay when you bring the vehicle back, because the deal we made, you said you were going to drive 15,000. So the name of the game with a lease is picking your mileage accurately. I don't know what gets you to pick your mileage wrong. I don't know if it's from a lack of understanding. I don't know if it's from I didn't know that I could change my miles. I don't know if it's trying to save a couple dollars because you're getting a bad lease deal and you don't see the benefit in paying more for the additional miles. But these are all bad decisions. You should be like Jen. Jen needed 18,000 miles per year on her lease. Now, Jen shops for her Honda CRV, $40,000 vehicle. She gets a deal, $512 per month. $512 per month, no money down on her Honda CRV lease. Now, she can then take that 12,000 mile a year lease, knowing she needs more, or she can do what she did. She adjusted her lease, and you can see it if you're on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook. TikTok, you guys can't see this because I can't share the images. But she had them adjust her lease from 12,000 miles to 18,000 miles. Her payment went from $512 to $563, $50 more per month, and she can drive 18,000 miles per year for $50 a month. She can drive all she needs to drive. She doesn't have to worry about penalties or anything like that because she has structured her lease correctly. That is the name of the game. Do not take lease mileage you don't need. Don't take less lease mileage than you need. You're just asking for a bad experience. It's a recipe for disaster. Okay, I have a 2015 Lexus. Should I sell it for $20,000? I have two cars already. It doesn't. If you can get $20,000 for a 2015 Lexus, then that's the value. God bless you. Make sure when you are selling your cars, I like when you mention sell, you throw it. We always bid out. You don't know what the item you're selling is worth until you get bids. You don't know. Whenever example, they'll tell us to trade our phones in. Now they'll say if you trade your phone in, you can get $200 or whatever. We don't know how much we could truly get for that if we put it on the market, if we put it on eBay. Because if they're giving us $200 on trade, we could probably get $300 on eBay. We could certainly get more. You got what I'm saying? You don't get the maximum amount that your item is worth trading. So we always sell it, and it's easy because there are now big cash buyers that all they do is buy vehicles all day long. KBB Instant Cash Offer. Write these 6 sites down. Everybody who wants to do an equity, first of all, you should always be doing an equity assessment, which is finding out what is your vehicle worth on the open market if you decided you wanted to sell it. That's an equity assessment. It's similar to an appraisal. What's up, Cheryl Johnson? Good to see you, Margaret. Thanks for sharing. I see you, Margaret Cordova. Thank you for sharing. So the equivalent to, we created something called the equity assessment. It's equivalent to you getting a home appraisal. The great thing about it is it's free. It takes 20 minutes and there's no obligation. There's no obligation. So you can find out, oh, this is what my car is worth if I wanted to sell it. I don't have to sell it. So we go to AutoNation, sell my car. This is all online. CarMax, Car Gurus, Carvana, Driveway, and Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. Now that's going to get us 6 offers. Those are some of the biggest buyers in the country. And you can see what your vehicle is worth. You assess your equity. This is step 2 in our process. So before you actually go shop for your new car, you should always be finding out what your old car is worth, because you need to know, am I going to have equity in that I could put in my bank account? Am I going to have negative equity that's going to hurt my next deal? I need to know this. That's why we do an equity assessment. What's up, Chris Hayes? But yeah, that's what you should do, Lisa. Love too. If they're going to buy your car for 20, that's great, but just make sure that you got other offers to make sure that 20 is the best. And don't use Kelly Blue Book to actually find out what your car is worth, because going on a website, typing in stuff for 30 seconds and then it's saying your car is worth 20, that's not real. In the day and age where we get cash offers, that's not real. That doesn't mean anything. You could actually just go right to Kelly Blue Book instant cash offer and see what they'll offer you cash. That's how you're going to know what your vehicle is really worth. Okay. And all of this, everything we're talking about, everything I teach is in my new digital book. It's 5-star rated. You can Google it. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. And it's the blueprint for below market deals from home. That's why our system is called Cars from Home. So you'll learn below market leases, below market purchases, below market new cars, below market new cars, how to do an equity assessment, how to do the bank bidding war so that you're not trying to hope you got the best interest rate. You want to get bids from banks so you know you got the best interest rate. So all of this is in my book, and you can get your copy for 75% off. It's part of my welcome offer. It's normally $97, and it's worth it. But it's part of my welcome offer for 30 minutes. You can get your copy for 75% off in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. Is it a good idea to buy out your lease? Not usually. Most times this is a major way. This is a $5,000 loss because you're paying for too long on a car that you're giving back. So if you who's bought a lease out? Let's just really lay out a scenario. If you've ever bought your lease out, just type me. I want to show you why this is a mistake, and I'm going to do this probably in 2 minutes. Whenever you lease, your lease is 3 years on average. We don't take 4-year leases. Why? Again, you're paying too long for a car you're giving back. The name of the game with a lease is to pay cents on the dollar compared to purchasing, not tie up a lot of money. So when we go from leasing to buying out our lease, we're going from driving new cars for cheap to now we're buying a used car. What do you mean buying a used car? Well, that's all it is when you buy your lease. You're just buying a used car. The only difference is it's your car. So instead of going out and looking for a used car, you already have a used car, 3 years old. It's your old lease. You go buy it. First thing you need to do is make sure that the price that you're paying for it is a good price. If you were going to buy it, the very first thing we want to do is a market assessment. So look at vehicles online, go on used car websites, go on the marketplaces, cars.com, Car Gurus, AutoNation, Auto Trader, all the marketplaces, Carfax.com, Carvana, CarMax. We use 8. So there's 8 marketplaces that we use where all the used cars are, and we need to see all of them. Now, we need to know, is the price that we're paying for this lease buyout good? Can we get a car just like it or a better car for the same price? Some people are paying $19,000 to buy out their lease when they could get a similar car for $17,000. So that means they're overpaying right from the jump, just overpaying for the car because their lease contract buyout price is already not a good price. Now, let's consider this. Most people who are buying out their leases, they're not paying cash. They're taking out a loan. Average loan they're going to take out is 6 years. Right now, I think if you looked and you said, if somebody jumped off in Google right now, what's the average car loan length? Average car loan in years. Somebody jump off and let us know. I guarantee it's going to be at least 71 months. I guarantee if somebody got the time to do that, come back and let us know. I guarantee. So now, if the average car loan is 71 months, let's call it 6 years. You've already leased the car for 3, then you buy it for another 6. What's 6 plus 9? What's 6 plus 3, people? You've already leased the car for 3 years worth of payments. Now you bought the used car. You bought it as a used car, took out a 6-year loan to pay off the difference. How many years of payments is this? 9. Thank you. 9. Who's signing up for a 9-year car loan? Anybody? Good fellas, you asked the question. You signing up for a 9-year car loan? Showtime said, not me. Who's signing up for a 9-year car loan? See what I'm saying? This is the big, see, when we're leasing, you're not putting the money in the car. When you're buying, you're paying the car off and then you're keeping it a long time. It's two different goals. Two very different goals. If you're gonna buy a car, you need to love it. You need to be able to say, I love this car so much, I'm gonna keep it at least 8 years. If you don't say that, you should not be buying that car, because the depreciation is going to just destroy your finances. It's not what you pay for. You could pay cash. Doesn't stop the car from depreciating. The only way to outlive the depreciation, a car is worth 40 today, and in 5 years, the car is worth 17. Literally today, the car is worth 40. 5 years from now, the car is worth 17. That is a major depreciation of money. So when we are tying up our money in an asset like that, we have to be in it for the long run. Now, if we're not going to tie up our money for the long run, then we should be leasing so that we don't put our money in the car from the start. Type $ if you understand that. Type $. If we were taught this in school, and obviously working for Mercedes for 5 years, working for General Motors for 5 years, I wouldn't know this working for General Motors, because once I went to work for Ray Katina, he made us understand we had to run our own deals. We had to work the computer. We couldn't go to the managers and get the numbers, because we were all finance managers in addition to being the salesman. So I wouldn't have understood this without working where I work. That's why most car salesmen don't understand this. They weren't taught this. The first thing you should be learning if you went to class, if they taught a 1-semester class on understanding how to get great car deals, literally step 1, period 1 is depreciation. That's period 1. Because now it's like depreciation is the enemy. Depreciation is what's going to destroy you. You throw your cash in that vehicle, you tie up $20,000, $30,000 in that, your cash value is depreciating. That should be the first thing. How are we going to avoid that? That would be the first question that you got to come up with. Okay, wow, if that's the case, how do I avoid that? Okay, you're either going to get a below market lease, or you're going to keep it a very long time to where the depreciation cools off and it's no longer depreciating that much. And then you'll be like, oh, okay, cool. But because we didn't learn how to buy cars, we were basically trained. We were trained to buy cars by car dealers. And the things that we were taught make them money, not us. And I'm one of them. I've been a car salesman for 14 years before I came to the internet. So I watch most car salesmen buy cars. There's a couple car salesmen I'm friends with, and they always buy new cars. I watch them. They'll go and they work at the dealership, and they'll say, yo, I just upgraded. Every 2, 3, 4 years, they got a new car, but they don't lease. It's total financial, almost, it's worse than ignorance, because they see the numbers. It's just they're so programmed. Oh, somebody taught me own my car. You ain't buying, you don't own nothing. You're not paying cash. The bank, you want to find out who owns the car? Don't make a payment for 3 months. Don't make a payment for 3 months. You'll find out who owns the car. So you get what I'm saying? So that's the name of the game is, yeah, I don't mind partnering with a bank to pay off my car, but once I pay off the car, I'm keeping it. There's nothing wrong with you switching cars. If you want to switch cars, God bless you. I want to switch cars. I bought this daggone Infinity truck thinking, oh, I was going to change. No, Deshone, I'm going to keep cars now. I'm going to keep these cars 8+ years. No, the only cars I want to keep is when I get my Range Rover, my Escalade, my S-Class Mercedes. These are cars that I've wanted pretty much for my adult life. Last 20 years, I've been like, okay, these are my gold cars. When I get here, I'm buying these cars and I'm going to keep them. That's my dream. I'm not keeping cars that's not on my dream car list. I'm not keeping them. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I have to pay the price because, again, I bought a used vehicle, got a great price on it, but what I could have leased, what I could have driven had I leased 2 years ago, would have been so much better and so much less money. And I got a great deal on it. Depreciation. Can't beat it. You cannot try to beat it. Go ahead, Dolan. Should you let the dealer run your credit multiple times just to get you a better rate? Absolutely not. That's the worst thing you could do. The dealership's not getting you a better rate. Listen, pay attention, everyone, because this is a big deal. The dealership's job is to get you a rate that you'll agree on that makes them the most money. What does that mean? All right. Finance manager is asking the salesman, what is the highest rate you'll take? That's a big difference than trying to beat a rate you have. We never have a dealer ever run our credit without trying to beat a rate we already have. When you actually let a dealer run your credit, they are looking and saying, okay, if I tell them it's 8%, will they take it? If I tell them it's 8.5%, well, they're trying to see the highest. What's the highest we can get? That's not someone who's shopping for you, like someone who's, okay, let me see the lowest rate my client can get. That's different. Now, how do we make dealerships switch from trying to see the highest rate you'll take to actually trying to see the lowest rate they can get? Bids. We use a process called the bank bidding war. What's up, Beats? Good to see you, Biddy Brown. We use a process called the bank bidding war. And what we do is we do not let anyone run our credit. First of all, let me explain what the credit bureaus allow. What they allow that you may not know, that most people don't know. They allow you to let multiple banks, multiple credit unions access your credit within a certain number of days. And if you do it within a certain number of days, once that window closes, the effect on your credit score is going to be like one hard inquiry. So we all know, most of us know, a hard inquiry can drop your credit score. But if you shop the way the credit bureaus allow, you can get multiple hard inquiries from banks, credit unions, online lenders, and it's going to have the same effect as one hard inquiry. And the benefit of you shopping this way is because how do you know that the interest rate the bank gave you was the best interest rate on the market? How do you know? What's up, Curtis Wilson? Good to see you. Good to see you checking in on Facebook. How do you know? How do you know that the interest rate that the bank gave you, what's up, Ivan Uris, is the actual best interest rate? Anybody want to take a stab at how you know? There's no answer because you don't. You do not know. How do you know the bank, the credit union that's in 45 minutes away out in the woods wouldn't have given you a better rate? So we shop around for the rates. Now, they don't want you to know that you can shop around for the rate because the banks want you to be limited just like the dealers do. The biggest tactic that banks and dealers are using against you is to make you think they're your friends. As long as you think they're your friends, you're not going to shop their competitors. Type a $ if you understand that. You'll notice that the new thing banks are going to try to do is to get you to give them your information and allow them to access your credit with a hard inquiry. That's the new thing. They always did soft pulls before pre-approvals became popular. You could get a soft credit pull inquiry. Then soon as you guys started getting hit to the pre-approvals, which was the smart thing to do 2-3 years ago, get the pre-approval. Now every bank wants to get a hard credit pull to give you a pre-approval. You notice that? We watched it switch. When you weren't doing it, they had it available, soft credit pull pre-approvals. Soon as you got hit, see the market, these guys respond to what you do because they want to limit you. So you have to know what their goal is. Dealership goal, keep me from shopping competition. Bank goal, keep me from shopping competition. Because they know the only way that you are going to save the real money is to shop competition. So we always once we find our car, we never let anyone access our credit with a hard pull before we find a car. Never. Because once you do that, you've opened that window that I told you about that the credit bureaus allow. It's only a couple days, 14 to 45 days. Once you allow someone to access your credit with a hard pull, you started the window. The clock begins to tick. And we don't want to do that. We find our car first, we find the best deal first, then we come home and we let dealers access our credit. Banks, credit unions access our credit, and we see if the dealer can beat it. This is a process we call the bank bidding war. When you get my book, my digital book, you actually get the bank bidding war blueprint with it. I haven't combined it into my book yet, so I give you the bank bidding war blueprint for those of you who get in car loan. And that's going to walk you step by step to how to make these banks and credit unions bid for your interest rate for your loan online, step by step. That's how you save the money. And that's how you have what I call a guarantee that you got the lowest interest rate. You need to guarantee. I want you to switch from these disempowering, weak words. I hope I got the best interest rate. I hope I got a good car deal. I think I did okay. These are very disempowering, weak words. That's different than you saying, I guarantee I got the best price on the car. What's up, Daughter Most High? I guarantee I got the best interest rate. And the way you get to the guarantee is to start making these people bid so that you can see multiple offers while you sit at home and you choose the best one. This is all in my digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's 5-star rated. You can Google it. And it's part of my welcome offer. For 30 minutes, you get a copy for 75% off. In my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, check the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments, and you'll have a link to get yours for 75% off. All right. It's normally $97. But if you get there before 30 minutes is up, you can get a copy for $24, and you'll have everything that we're learning step by step, even the stuff we won't have time to get to. Everything is in there step by step. The bank bidding war, below market leases, below market purchases, new cars, used cars, high mileage drivers, all step by step. So get your copy before the welcome offer goes away. Stephanie, how can I get out of my loan because of high car payment? Should I trade in or try to sell private? First thing you should do is assess the value. So go to the 6 sites that we recommend to find out what is the highest offer you can get for this vehicle. Go to CarMax, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, Driveway, and Car Gurus. Get your 6 offers, let them fight it out, see how much are you leaving this transaction with equity, or are you going into your next transaction with negative equity? So if you have negative equity, I always recommend you pay it off. Don't transfer, because then you can actually do a clean deal and you can get bids for the next clean deal. We don't like to trade. I talked about earlier in the stream how you're never going to get the most you can get for your item trading it. So usually when you don't sell your car, when you trade it, you're going to have more negative equity than you could have had if you have negative equity. But that's the first thing, Stephanie. And truly, even before you do that, you need to know, am I buying this next car to keep it at least 8 years or not? Because if you're not keeping it at least 8 years, then you should be transferring to a lease. You said, I moved to the city and I can see paying $519 for the next 5 years. Well, exactly, because $519 is only a $25,000 to $26,000 loan for 5 years. On a 6-year loan, maybe $30,000. So that's all the loan you have on a 6-year loan, $30,000. Whether you got a new car or used car, that's what you're driving. Meanwhile, the same $519 a month payment, we have people who are paying $519 and driving way more expensive cars than that. Look at Greg. Greg is paying $527. He's driving a $56,000 Kia EV6 Wind. That's an electric vehicle. Danielle is paying $550. She's driving a $44,000 Audi A3. I'm sorry, yes, A3. Raphael is paying $549. She's driving a $46,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. So see what the money gets you when you know how to leverage your money. So the first thing you should be doing is seeing, am I in the right foundation structure-wise for my lifestyle? My lifestyle is I don't keep cars 8 years, I should be leasing. If my lifestyle is I keep cars more than 8 years, then I should be purchasing. And then you could transfer it and you just got to go into a less expensive car. See, the only way you're going to drop your payment is to go from a $30,000 loan, whatever you're in, to a $20,000 loan if you're buying. That's the only way when you're buying. When you are purchasing, if you want to drop your payment, you have to go to a less expensive car, because the amount that you're paying and the loan that you're paying, you need to lower that. So $30,000 loans, $500, so $500 and change payment for 6 years. I'm trying to get to $350. Then I got to go buy like an $18,000 car. I need to take an $18,000 loan. Meanwhile, if you were trying to get to $350 and you're shopping a below market lease, you get one like India got. India's paying $365 a month for a brand new 2024 Hyundai Elantra Limited. Look, $365 a month. That's probably a $28,000 vehicle, close to maybe 28. I don't know what the Limited cost. So you're talking about a $28,000 vehicle for $365 versus an $18,000 used car. These are very big differences. Biggest thing you need to do up front is decide, am I keeping this next car 8 years or not? And then after that, assess that equity, Stephanie, using what I told you in the beginning when I first started answering. Go to those 6 websites, get your values and find out what your asset is worth. And if you're going to have positive equity or negative equity moving into your next transaction. That's step 1 and 2 right there. Okay, do those things before doing anything. Great question. Go ahead, Dolan. You owe $22,000 and you have a Toyota Corolla, so most likely you're going to be upside down. And again, that's just very unforgiving. Toyota Corolla, compact, entry level, small sedan, probably a $25,000 vehicle. You bought it, and that same competitor, which is a Hyundai Elantra, Honda Civic, these same vehicles are $500 and change to purchase. They're $500 and change to purchase. Depending on the interest rate, could be $600. I'm talking no money down. Let's see. The reason why most people can understand what I teach is because we don't confuse it with money down. When you start getting into these money down conversations, people are confusing you because you'll think like, okay, give you an example. For my for my Infinity truck, it's a $54,000 truck. I bought it 3 years old for $31,000, $31,800. Great price. It was better than all the competitors. Now, I pay 500. I think I pay 525 a month. When I replace this vehicle, I already did my equity assessment. I'm right about a break even. I'm right about a break even. Now think about this. People will make you forget. I've been paying the 525, but I didn't forget about the $5,000 down that I put when I bought the truck. So had I not put that $5,000 down, my payment really would be probably about 625, maybe about 650. See, because I understand the math, I'm not going to confuse a $525 payment with $5,000 down. I'm not going to confuse that with a $525 payment with no money down. Because I know that I could have leased a brand new Infinity truck just like the one I got, and I could have got it for $525 a month, no money down. How do you know that, Deshone? Because I've helped people do it. Look at Ashley. Ashley got the same vehicle that I could have got. Look, 2024 QX60 Lux. MSRP is $58,000. His payment is $554 a month, no money down. No money down. I'm paying $525 for a 3-year-old used car, used version of this. Because again, I had planned to keep it, but if you didn't keep it, look, if you didn't keep it and you bought it, you lost. It doesn't matter what you plan to do. You got to follow the plan because cars are unforgiving. Same vehicle, Rosalie. Look, Rosalie, $59,000, 2024 Infinity QX60 Lux. Look, $592 a month, right below 1%. And that was, she had a lot of offers higher than this. Obviously, we get, if you're new here, we get multiple offers. You're not going in negotiating this deal like this. But I see what the market was. I could have gotten this, but yet I thought I was buying. I thought I was going to keep 8 years, and now I went and bought it. But when I actually go and swap it, I actually paid more than them. And only the people who are really committed to their finances are going to understand this, even though it's simple. You got to really sit up and you got to be like, yeah, it's not even close. It's not even close. So what you're going to thank me for is really getting the concept of leasing first. And then you'll thank me second for teaching you how to get the best leases and purchases from home. But the first thing that many of you need to do is break the programming of don't lease cars. That is what is killing you. That's what has you tied up in $700, $800, $1,000, $1,200 payments because you're believing bad advice. You could drop those payments by $300, $400, $500 a month. Just like I talked about my neighbor who he had his Kia Telluride paying over $800 a month. His wife totaled it. He said, Deshone, I followed your 8-year rule. I'm not buying these cars no more. I'm going to shop for a lease. He got the same exact vehicle for $479. Same exact vehicle that just was in his household, in his driveway for $800 a month. He went and got the same one, and now it's $479. It's just amazing. His life has changed. You pay $400 a month, $300 a month for the exact same vehicle, and once you learn to do it right, and you see, man, I can't believe it. I don't have more car, less car. I got the same car. How am I paying $300 a month less than I was just paying? Well, because you structured your deal correctly. Bought the book. How do I get the digital book? It's a digital book. So as soon as you buy it, you actually get it. As soon as you get your book, I want you to screenshot the thank you page because sometimes you type your email in wrong. It does happen because you're typing fast, trying to hurry up and get the offer before the 30-minute hits 0, and you type a letter wrong. We can't send an email with a book to a wrong email. So what we do is we make sure you have our support team's email. Make sure If you don't see that book in your inbox in the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops, you email my support team. Also, as soon as you get your book, as soon as you pay for it, right on the thank you page is the link to open the book. So you'll see at the bottom, click the link below to open your book. But I also email you a copy. Okay, and then use it, follow it step by step. Don't jump steps. You'll see it's very, very step by step oriented. Get to one step, do it, check it off, move to the next step, do it, check it off. And by the time you get to step 7, you're setting up your delivery. That's literally step 7 of the book, delivery or pickup. Okay. So for those of you who just jumped on, everything we've been teaching on this stream, it's called Car Shopping Questions and Answers, is out of my new book. It's a digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealership. It's a mindset. You're not going to the dealers anymore to get these deals. You're not going to the dealers anymore thinking you're going to get a deal. You're going there to test drive or to pick up your car. Everything else you are doing is from home. You are using websites, you're using email scripts, you're using specific steps from home to make dealers and banks compete for your business. And that's how you're going to save the most money and have the most fun. Save the most money, save the most time, and have the most fun. So you can get a copy of my new digital book for 75% off. That's my welcome offer to you. It's normally $97 book. And you can Google it. It's 5 stars. Just type Cars from Home book into the Google and you'll see it's 5-star rated. But you can get your copy for 75% off, which is $24. But it's only for 30 minutes. Get to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, click those websites in the YouTube comments, the Facebook comments before the 30 minutes is up. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. All right. Can you still get a deal if you want specifics in a car and they have to order it? That's absolutely. Of course you can. And before you order your car, that's the time to shop around. If I was ordering a car, the good thing about it is any dealer can place the order. When you are shopping for a black Honda Accord, every dealer's not going to have that, especially the way you want it with the package you want. That's another reason why we connect with 25 dealers, because once you connect with 25 dealers, you give yourself the best shot at finding a dealer that has the car you want. So once you do that, you're good if you shop around, but every dealer is not going to have the car. When you're ordering, any dealer can place the order. So you can actually have more competition placing an order than you can for a standard car purchase. But the time to make the dealers compete and to talk to multiple dealers is before you place the order. Once you place the order, you have almost no leverage, because the longer you've waited, your car's on the way, it's a month away, it's 2 months away. They know that you're now waiting for the car, you're looking forward to it, and the longer you've waited, the less chance that you're going to cancel. So oftentimes they're going to end up charging you more, or not negotiating at all, or potentially not even giving you or hiding rebates that they may have, because again, they think the longer you waited, the more desperate you are. So the time to negotiate an order is prior to signing the paperwork. And that's also in my digital book. I teach you how to do that if you do plan on ordering a car, or if you're shopping for a car that needs to be ordered. Right? Shout out to y'all running up the likes on TikTok. Thank you for double tapping the screen. We continue to run up the likes. That continues to let TikTok know that we're talking money over here, and they continue to bring more people over. So shout out to the people who run the likes up. We appreciate you. And shout out to the sharers. Thank you to the sharers. We appreciate you. Go ahead, Dolan. I always like to show my appreciation to people who help spread the message. All right. Thank you, Queen P. I see you. Thanks, boss lady. Shout out to you. I see the likes. How can I ensure a low monthly payment when buying a new car? My credit is excellent. How can you ensure a low monthly payment? Well, low is relative. Low for some people is 500. Low for another person is 300. What you need to do is how are payments made up? Well, they're not. It's based on how much loan you are going to borrow, and it's based on how long you're going to take the loan at what interest rate. Now, we have a formula here that we use with purchases so that you know it's not about how much your payment is, it's about how much loan did I borrow. That's not going to change. A $500 a month payment, if you say, Deshone, I don't want my payment to be no more than $500 a month on my purchase. It's simple to see how much car that gets you. On a 5-year loan, that's going to get you about a $25,000 loan. $25,000. Yo, Deshone, I want a $40,000 car. Okay, so you can't borrow more than $25,000 if you want a $500 payment. Has nothing to do with how much car you want. It has everything to do with, this is the loan. That's how much $500 a month gets you. Now you could go a 6-year loan and $500 a month might get you about a $30,000 loan. But that's it. So when you go in and you're purchasing, see, this is why leasing is so different. Because when I look at $500 a month, I know that I can find certain leases where I could lease and pay $500 a month and drive a $40,000 car, or $45,000 car, or potentially a $50,000 car. This is how different it is. Wait, how could you drive a $50,000 car for $500 a month? Like Greg is, $527 a month. He's driving a $56,000 Kia EV6 Win. You can't change that on a purchase. Look, Zafrina, $579 a month. She's driving a $66,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. You can't manipulate. See, with purchases, payments can't be manipulated unless they just stretch your loan out. That's how they manipulate the payments. Give you a 7-year loan. You think you got a better deal. No, all you did was take a long loan, stretch the loan out. That's like going and looking at a $1 million mansion, and then they tell you, well, it's $5,000 a month. But if you take a 50-year mortgage, we can get you down to $3,500 a month. Smart people aren't going to do that. Just because you stretch the mortgage out, gave me a longer time to pay it off, doesn't mean it was a good deal. So when it comes to the cars, you have to know that I could get a lot more money for my car, a lot more car for my money leasing. If I'm not going to lease, then I need to know how much loan I borrow. How much is my loan going to be to get to this payment? And everything above that, you gotta realize that's, if I'm going to take a $500 payment, that's a $25,000 loan. Then everything. See, this is why the loan has nothing to do with the car deal. That's what. See, everything that we're talking about has nothing to do with if you got a great car deal, because it's, see, when they get you thinking about monthly payments, you're not thinking about the price you paid for the car, which is the indicator of if you got a great car deal. It has nothing to do. If I'm buying, let's just say, let me see, let me find somebody here that bought a car. All right, look at Sean. Sean's got a $73,000 F-150 Lightning. He gets $20,000, $21,000 off of it. Now, let's just say Sean, now in this particular case right here, the amount he would be borrowing is $47,000. $57,000, I'm sorry. Now let's say Sean, when they show him that, they say, Sean, your payment's $57,000. Your loan's $57,000. Your payment's gonna be like $1,100 a month. Now he got an $1,100 a month payment. That doesn't mean he didn't get a great deal. He got a great deal. He saved $20,000 off the truck. The deal has zero to do with his payment. His payment has, he has to make sure he found the dealer that was going to sell him the truck lower than anyone. He did. The dealer he found the truck from saved him $21,000 off the price. Zero to do with your monthly payment. Now it's up to him to decide, do I want to put money down? Do I want to finance the whole thing? How am I going to structure my finances to afford the deal that I just got? But just because somebody can't afford the payment doesn't mean they didn't get a great deal. Sean might say, man, I can't afford an $1,100 payment. That doesn't mean he didn't get a great deal. So the same way that somebody could make you think you got a great deal by focusing on the monthly payment, you got to unlearn that and realize monthly payment has nothing to do with if I got a great deal on the car. As long as a Bentley, we could all walk into a Bentley dealership tomorrow. We look at a $200,000 Bentley. Let's say a dealer, let's say we're the dealer, they're going out of business. It's a liquidation sale. And the dealer's sitting there and they're like, listen, I got great news for you guys. You came in on the right day. We're going out of business. We have to liquidate everything. Everything is 50% off for today. So we could get a $200,000 Bentley for $100,000, brand new, liquidation sale. Now I can't afford that payment. You might not be able to afford that payment. That's a $2,000 a month payment if we wanted to buy that vehicle. You get what I'm saying? It's even with them taking off 100,000, even with them slashing the price 50%. It's a great deal, man, but I can't afford it. That means affordability has nothing to do with the deal. That's what you have to separate. Your mission is, let me find the dealership that is going to sell me this car lower than anyone, because they're all going to have different prices. Once I find that dealership, then I'll determine if I can structure it, be it a lease or a purchase, to make it affordable, or whether I'm going to put money down. That's how we decide, am I going to put money down? Because let's just say that same Bentley deal that we got, we're getting the Bentley 50% off. You might not be able to afford, but you might have $50,000 in the bank, and you say, man, I'll put 50 grand down and get the Bentley, and then I'll put half down. Now your payment is based on 50,000. So you can say, well, I can structure this thing to where I can afford it. Great. That's where money down comes in. It's just managing my monthly payment. That's the whole thing of a down payment. Managing my monthly payment. What do I want my monthly payment to be? If I could do a deal and I could afford the monthly payment with no money down, great, I'll do that. But the mission is, am I paying the lowest amount in the market for the car? Forget what you're trying to see. And I'm telling you, once you go into, you'll see. Once you go to the dealership next time, you're going to be aware that that's the first question they're going to try to ask you. That's why we don't talk numbers there. What do you want your monthly payment to be? Who gets that question? As soon as you get a car that you like, hey, what kind of payment you looking for on that? Isn't that one of the first questions? Isn't that one of the first questions, right? Type $signs if you know I'm right. And I know, obviously, because we know this industry is very predictable. But I want you to see now, why are they asking me that? They're asking me that so I can focus on the monthly payment and not on the price of the car that they're selling me. I see you, Solid. I see you, Vonnie. I see you, Showtime. Shout out to the people locked in, engaged. You usually get the most out of what we do. So this is why they're trying to get you focused on the monthly payment. So now if you know this is their goal, your goal is to make sure we don't even discuss monthly payment. I just want to know, how much are you selling me the car for? And we do this from home. How much is it? You got to get 5 offers. That's all I need from you, Mr. Dealer. How much you going to sell me this car for? And then I'm going to find another dealer just like you with that same car. How much is he going to sell me the car for? And I'm going to get another deal, and I'm going to get 5 offers, and then I'm going to see which one of y'all was hiding, trying to make a bunch of money on me. And that's going to usually be 4 out of 5. So that's the name of the game. It's not about monthly payments. Monthly payments do not determine a deal. Price of the car is what determines the deal. Okay? I see you, Ernest. Thank you for sharing. Shout out to everybody who checked in. I see y'all ran up the likes on TikTok. This is beautiful. Thank you to everybody who hit the like button, who shared with somebody that they know, who tagged in their best friend. These are the things that we have to be teaching because we have to be protecting our money. No one's going to care about your money the way you do. The people who you are working with, car salesmen, banks, who you think have a fiduciary responsibility to you, they don't. Fiduciary means they're obligated to help you protect your money. They're not. They're not. So once you understand that the people who you've been trusting to help you make these financial decisions have a vested interest in you paying more, they make more when you pay more, then you'll understand why you need to be shopping your way, how you need to be learning how to shop in a different way that makes them compete instead of making them, you pulling up a chair next to them like you guys are friends. So that's what we do. Our Cars from Home system has been used by thousands of people since we created it in 2021. I show you a couple in the stream. You'll see them in the book reviews. If you go to Goodreads, you'll see the dozens and dozens of reviews that we have for people who've used this book. And it's literally it's a blueprint to below market car deals, to saving thousands from home. That's why it's called Cars from Home. And it's 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. And as my welcome offer to you, you can get a copy for 75% off. It's normally $97. But if you get to my TikTok bio, the Instagram bio, the YouTube comment link, or the Facebook comment link before 30 minutes is up, you can get a copy for $24. That's 75% off. It's only for 30 minutes. And then you'll have everything we discuss in these streams, step by step, everything that I teach in my videos, step by step. And you'll be able to make sure you always keep the most money in your bank account. And you'll have fun shopping. The name of the game is saving time, money, and enjoying your car shopping. And when you start making people bid, you feel like you're the prize, which you are. You're going to be shopping empowered, and you will enjoy car shopping. You won't dread it anymore because you're literally making people compete. You're no longer begging for dealers to take money off. So go get your copy, use it. Make sure you send me your success stories. Always a pleasure tapping in with you, and keep unlearning, keep relearning. God bless you.